faces charges he abused his power and obstructed Congress. Speaker Nancy Pelosi asked Democratic lawmakers to gather for what she calls a solemn session Wednesday. As soon as it opened, Republicans tried to halt the proceedings with a procedural vote. It was defeated on a party line vote. There will be at least 6 hours of debate, with votes on the articles of impeachment expected by evening. Volunteers from a local rescue group say 2 cowboy hat-wearing pigeons have been caught and their hats removed. The pigeons, named Billy the Pidge and Cluck Norris, were both caught and taken to a veterinarian who removed the hats that were glued to their feathers. Mariah Hillman, founder of the group Lofty Hopes, will be on the Vegas Take at 10:30 this morning. Nevada says the U.S. Energy Department is engaged in a secret plutonium smuggling operation that threatens Nevada's health, safety, and environment. It's again asking a federal judge to order the removal of weapons-grade material that the government shipped to a security site near Las Vegas over the state's objections. With a check on our weather, here's News 3's Kendall Kim.
We'll start the morning nice and clear with those cloudy skies quickly taking over by this afternoon. The high for the day around 50 degrees, dipping into the 30s for overnight lows, but a chance for rain is strengthening. That's Monday into Christmas Eve. We'll be tracking it for you with more updates throughout the day from News 3, your weather authority.
Mostly sunny, 40 in Las Vegas. I'm John Schaefer on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, Las Vegas only FM news talk station. With a look at the roads, here's John Michaels in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. An accident on the 95 northbound near Las Vegas Boulevard. Vehicles remain off to the right. Slowing still from Charleston, heavy. This should be in the clearing stage here before too long. And light slowing remains a factor on the 15 southbound from the Spaghetti Bowl to Sahara Avenue. No delays on the 95 in the West Valley, and no delays to report on the Southern Beltway, east side and west side. A nice recovery. Great news, there's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com. And in 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
For more than a year, the whole of Vermont was captivated by the hunt for a runaway golden retriever. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press. Available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
I'm Jim Snyder.
And I'm Marie Mortera. We want to thank you for making News 3 your #1 choice for news.
You can count on us to have the big story of the day.
Plus breaking news that matters to you.
News 3 live at 11 with Jim Snyder and Marie Mortera, leading the way in Las Vegas.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. Their enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program for tax debt assistance. The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your assets from IRS collections. But don't delay, because the IRS is tacking on interest and hefty penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
What's up, everybody? It is Vegas Take time, and it is also Hump Day. Welcome, Sharp and Shapiro. Back at you. Gonna have a little bit of fun today. Yeah, we got a huge lineup for you. A lot of guests. It is Winning Wednesdays with C. Win. He is joining us in studio.
What's up?
Yeah, man. And we got a lot to get to. We are also streaming live on YouTube, the Vegas Take YouTube page. Check us out. Coming up at the bottom of the hour here. What's that? That's like in 25 minutes. We'll be joined by the former governor of Massachusetts. He has decided to enter the Democratic presidential race. He is Deval Patrick, and rumors are circulating that it was Barack Obama that pushed him to enter the race. So we'll ask him about that coming up here in just a few minutes. Have you heard about this controversy? The rodeo was in town, and we had these pigeons with these cowboy hats that were strapped to their heads or glued onto their heads. Well, a woman by the name of Mariah Hillard, she is from a group called Lofty Hopes Pigeon Rescue. They found 2 of these pigeons. They're looking for a third one. It's a stakeout for a third pigeon.
Is the APB out on a pigeon? Right
I believe it is. This is funny, but it's also serious and sad that there are people that are harming these pigeons. It's not good, and it's a crime. So she's going to be joining us coming up in hour number 2 to talk about that. Now, who could forget the days of Saturday Night Live, Night at the Roxbury? This guy is so funny. The little head bob back and forth. Very funny comedian. He's going to be at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club this week. He is none other than Chris Kattan. He'll be joining us in hour number 3. And Brian Barson is from Stop.
Yeah, Brian Barlow.
Brian Barlow. Well, our idiot producer doesn't know how to spell. He does it to me every morning. He has the worst handwriting in the world, and then he yells at me like it's my fault. Can somebody turn around and take a look at that name? Go ahead, turn around and take a look at that name. Does that look like Brian Barlow to you?
It actually very much does.
It does look
but
like
you know what?
Brian
But
Barlow.
but you know the
I'm
thing
wearing
is,
sunglasses.
JD and campaign.
I don't know
you know what
how
the problem is that
Barson out of that either.
No, you know what the problem is though is that Brian seems to feel the need to wear shades in the studio.
I do because I have an eye issue.
Situation?
Yeah,
he has an eye issue. He also just joined a motorcycle gang.
So anyway, the reason why I bring this up is because if you harass a referee, you can get hit with jail time or up to a $10,000 fine. So we're going to talk to Brian about that coming up in a little bit. By the way, he runs a website where if you give him a video of, a fan or a parent abusing an official, he'll pay you $100. It's a very, very funny website. So Brian will be joining us coming up in hour number 3. So as I said, a lot to get to, a lot to go over. But if you're not aware right now, the president is about to get impeached. It is a historic day for the country. It is a sad day for the country, but it is a day that we all expected. We talked about this months ago. I said, look, the president's going to get impeached for that, but he's not going to get thrown out. It's not going to go through the Senate because I believe we have a lot of Republicans, many Republicans that don't have a backbone, that are supporting the president through thick and thin, or in the president's body type through thick. Anyway, that's another story. But listen, I want to talk, I don't like talking about other presidents and comparing and whataboutism and all this other thing. But you know what? I'm going to make an exception today because I liked Bill Clinton. I thought he was a good president, but he lied. Listen, he lied. He got caught lying. And I would make the argument that what he did with Monica Lewinsky, cheating on his wife, is never a good thing. Donald Trump is the king of that, of infidelity. But I think what he did is far less, I guess you could say, far less bad. Yeah, important, bad, whatever.
In the scheme of things.
Yeah, it's far less worse than, in my opinion, what the president did in that phone call with the Ukrainians. And no, Mr. President, it was not a perfect phone call. I know he keeps saying that. So the president tweets out today. Of course, there were spelling errors in the tweet, but here's what he said. He said, "Can you believe that I'll be impeached today by the radical left?" Yeah, because the right's certainly not radical, Mr. President. The do-nothing Democrats. I did nothing wrong. No, you did, Mr. President. You did do something wrong. He says it's a terrible thing. Read the transcripts. We did read the transcripts. In fact, many of the people that support the president did not read the transcripts. This should, and by the way, he spells should, S-H-O-I-L-D. Does he spell check? He's the president of the United States. This should...
Shoiled?
Shoiled. This shoiled never happened to another president again. Say a prayer. The last thing he says is say a prayer. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I want to play you something for you Trump supporters out there. This was the day before Bill Clinton got impeached. This is what he said to the country. This was in December of 1998. I want you to have a good, hard listen. This is Bill Clinton when he got caught lying the day before he was impeached.
What I want the American people to know, what I want the Congress to know, is that I am profoundly sorry for all I have done wrong in words and deeds. I never should have misled the country, the Congress, my friends, or my family. Quite simply, I gave in to my shame.
There is Bill Clinton in his own words. Now, you can say, well, he had to apologize. No, he didn't. President Trump has attacked people for no reason, President Trump has done a lot of things in office that he shouldn't have done, that he should have apologized for. In fact, even when he was running for president, when he said grab women by the P word, when he said that in that audio, originally he made a quick apology, but said it was locker room talk and made excuses for it. And then the next day he said, well, that might not be my voice. And he kind of retracted his apology. Okay. Can you imagine Donald Trump ever apologizing the way Bill Clinton apologized in that speech? Never. And you could certainly make the case that Donald Trump misleads the American people every single day. That was Bill Clinton, in my personal opinion, speaking from the heart. He knew he got caught. He had to apologize to his family, to the country, for lying, basically, for lying and having an affair with an intern. In this case, it was Monica Lewinsky. But the point I'm trying to make here is this, and I think it's a very simple point. Donald Trump never apologizes for anything. And I personally believe, even if the apology comes, too little too late, if you apologize from the heart, look, anybody can apologize, right? It's only a word. I'm sorry, but it doesn't mean anything unless you mean it yourself personally. I believe in that speech that Bill Clinton made, he truly meant it. You could see it in his face. He apologized. He was sorry for what he did. I don't believe Donald Trump has ever done that, ever in his life, let alone in his presidency. He will never apologize for this phone call. He calls it a perfect phone call. He still calls it a perfect phone call. If the president went up there and said, look, I could have chosen my words differently. For that, I apologize. Look, I still would have thought what he did was wrong, but he will never do that.
Look, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. Did that phone call compromise his marriage, Brian? I mean, I think the phone call, and obviously Bill Clinton needed to apologize for that. He received oral sex as president of the United States, as married president of the United States, while he was in the office. I'm just saying it's a much different situation than Donald Trump having a conversation with a foreign leader.
His marriage, though.
Okay, but
what does that
first
have to
of
do
all, his marriage has nothing to do with it, but
yeah.
I will comment on that and say, what about the $120,000 payment that he made to Stormy Daniels? He never apologized for that. That certainly affected his marriage.
That was well in advance of him being president of the United States.
No, it was a week before the elections, excuse me.
In advance.
It was a week before the elections and broke campaign finance law.
Being president of the United States. It was before he was president of the United States.
He never apologized for it. All right, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, guys. Brian, you just ran the clip of President Clinton back in the late 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yesterday he was addressed. Donald Trump was addressed as far as if he thought he was culpable when it came to this whole impeachment thing. I believe it was Jim Acosta from CNN asked him the question and said, look, do you feel responsible whatsoever for the fact that you're going to get impeached tomorrow? And he went into a temper tantrum where he said, absolutely not. And I can't even say that, strongly enough, basically. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if Johnny has the clip, but President Trump actually responded to your point, Brian, as far as Donald Trump. Does he apologize? Not only does he not apologize, the guy takes on the offensive. He goes, he gets fired up. He gets pissed off.
And this is, I'm glad you brought that up because this brings me to my next point, and that is the ridiculous, childish letter that Donald Trump sent to Nancy Pelosi. So David Gergen, who is a CNN political analyst, pretty respected guy, he had this response to the letter on CNN.
I think right now it's going to go down as a letter from a two-bit dictator to banana republic. It has that kind of quality to it. But you just, think about our history and the people we've had, the men of letters who've been in that office. You mentioned the Gettysburg Address. Well, think about Donald Trump's letters and this letter and his other pronouncements going up against Jefferson, going up against Lincoln on the second inaugural, or Gettysburg, going up against Franklin Roosevelt in the fireside chats, Jack Kennedy in his inaugural, Ronald Reagan at Pointe du Hoc. This is going to be in those annals.
Well, I tend to agree.
Great point.
Yeah, he makes a very valid point there. This is the way the president responds. And I always talk about character. And, 95% of the reason why I just despise this man, that is Donald Trump. And this is the reason. He has zero character. He takes no accountability or responsibility for any mistakes that he makes in his life or his presidency. And this is just another perfect example of that. The man has no shame. He attacks Nancy Pelosi the other day on her teeth, her looks. He attacks any woman of power based on her looks. He's done it time and time again, attacking POWs. I've gone over this before, attacking Gold Star families, attacking immigrants. It is ridiculous. And it is an insane 6-page letter that we have since posted on our Twitter page. You can check it out at The Vegas Take. This is a sad day. It also is a historic day. Forget about the Democrats for a second, for you right-wing biased people out there. Forget about Schiff and all the people on the left that you don't like. This is very simple, and I'm going to say it in layman's terms. What the president did in that phone call was nothing perfect. There was nothing perfect about that phone call. There's nothing perfect about sending Rudy Giuliani over the air numerous times. By the way, he also is in the Ukraine right now. There's nothing perfect about that. There's nothing perfect about Gordon Sondland and many that work in the Donald Trump administration, some who have purple hearts that are saying they were extremely concerned by this. There's nothing perfect about Sondland saying there was a quid pro quo. There's nothing perfect about the president of the United States not allowing certain witnesses to testify, including Mulvaney and Bolton. If you have absolutely nothing to hide, then you say to yourself, let them all testify because I'm not guilty, okay? And stop it with this crap that the reason why Donald Trump is obstructing Congress is because he doesn't think this process is fair. That is BS. That is like a murderer that, killed a couple people, and there are witnesses, that saw the crime happen. But, the prosecution, now you wouldn't be able to do this in the courtroom, but the prosecution won't let them testify because they think the process is unfair. That's really what we're talking about here. It is insane. It is ridiculous. And for those out there that won't even admit that what the president did was wrong, what he did in that phone call was wrong, his behavior was wrong, it is absurd. And people like Lindsey Graham and others that are out there have sold their soul to the fat orange man, and it is disgusting. And I'm sick and tired of it. Admit that this man's behavior is atrocious and it is unacceptable. I'm not talking about policy. This has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with whether there's an R or a D next to his name. You can make the argument that Donald Trump most of his life has been a Democrat anyway, who supported the Clintons. This has nothing to do with the fact that he is a Republican. So don't you give me this crap. It's got nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that this man has no shame. He is a coward who dodged the military, who goes after people that are not only more heroic than him, which, wouldn't take much, but he goes after people that are real people, powerful people, intelligent people. And he does this day in and day out because he is probably one of the most insecure, petulant presidents, if not the most insecure that we have ever had in office. And it is a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute joke. So don't you call in and say, make excuses for this guy, how great the economy is doing, how black unemployment numbers are down. That is completely academic to what has taken place today. Don't blame Democrats for what's going on right now. Many people on the right are making excuses and calling them the do-nothing Democrats. Make no mistake about it. The reason why the president is going to be impeached today, and the only reason why the president is going to impeach, is for his own personal behavior, for himself. And as you guys just alluded to, he has not owned up to it.
You don't think the Democrats have it out for him and have had it out for him since he became president of the United States?
Whether the let me
answer.
They're
Democrats.
Well, let me answer the question.
Okay. Well, you're making it seem like it was all just because of this call.
Okay.
Let
me answer that because he committed impeachable offense.
It's a very simple.
Obviously, the left.
Can I answer that question?
Obviously, the left-wing media, despite the fact that if Donald Trump, here's what's crazy.
Can I just answer that, and I'll let you roll? Can I just answer that question?
Give me 1 second. If Donald Trump is impeached by both the House and the Senate, and he is removed from office, the ratings of CNN.
Not talking about ratings.
We're talking about
I am talking about.
And then
I'm talking about how the media has been pushing this guy. Has been pushing how poor of a president this guy is and how bad of a human being this guy is. But if he is removed from office, the media is different.
That's a different conversation.
The media's bottom line will be affected.
That is a
60
different.
or 65%.
Okay, fine.
Yes, that's true.
To me,
Yeah.
First of all, I'll let you respond. But
I don't know why they are literally taking a dump where they eat. It makes no sense.
Let me give out the number, which is 702-257-5396. Again, that number, if you want to join the conversation, 257-5396. That's a separate conversation, but I will say this: you started the conversation by saying, the Democrats, had it in for him. Okay, for 8 years, Republicans had it in for Barack Obama. Right. Hold on, let me finish. Republicans had it in for Barack Obama for 8 years, but last I checked, Barack Obama was never impeached. And the reason why Barack Obama was never impeached, because he never did anything. Hold on, let me finish. He never did anything in office for Republicans to get him impeached. Do you understand the difference, JD? You don't think if Barack Obama did anything to the same level of Donald Trump, you don't think Republicans would be all over it trying to get him out of there? The reason why they didn't do that is because Obama never withheld aid for political gain.
When Barack Obama, right now, if you wanted to find, and I ask every single person listening to the show right now to do this, if you wanted to find out good things that Donald Trump has done in his presidency, you would have to go to a Reddit thread. You'd have to look, you have to search in reddit.com. If you typed in Donald Trump good things or Donald Trump on Google, the first 21 pages would be negative articles about Donald Trump. That was not the case with Barack Obama when he was president.
On Fox News?
Absolutely not.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm saying the first 21 pages of Google will show you nothing positive about Donald Trump.
You're not addressing.
I don't understand why does this come back to Barack Obama, though? I don't understand the comparisons to Barack Obama. Donald Trump is the third president today that's going to be impeached in the history of this country, and now we're talking about the culpability of Barack Obama and should he have been impeached or not impeached? Look, if Barack Obama, I'm not a hardcore Democrat, okay? I'm someone who would can look at this through clear lenses, okay? If Barack Obama committed impeachable offenses, Barack Obama should have been impeached. Donald Trump committed impeachable offenses with obstruction of Congress and also abuse of power. He's going to get impeached. I don't understand why this has to be. It's all the Democrats. The only reason, JD, are you saying that the reason he's getting impeached is because the Democrats have it out for him? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that's definitely part of the conversation.
Let's take some phone calls. What do you think out there? 257-5396. Let's go to Ian. Ian, you're first up on the Vegas take. Go, Ian. What's on your mind, my friend? Do we have Ian on the line? Ian, go ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah, so it's like I'm in the Wayback Machine here. We've gone back 20 years with what you're saying about how this man is being impeached because of he's a bad man and all the bad things he's done, and it's his character and everything.
No, he's
hold
not.
on a second.
He's impeached for impeachable offenses.
Chris, hang on.
Let me finish
Ian,
my thought. That's exactly, hang on.
Ian, wait. I will let you finish your thought, but if you say something that is not factually...
that's ridiculous. We're going to call you out.
Okay, Ian, I never said...
But Brian,
let me finish.
There's factually accurate, and there's something you just don't disagree with.
First of all,
there's a huge difference there.
Well, JD, let me explain it to you as well. I never said Donald Trump was being impeached for being a bad person. Ian, have I ever said that? No.
You did. You brought up.
No, I didn't. I never said that. No, Ian. No, excuse me. You're not gonna say. Pot him down. This is how the show works, Ian. If you say something that is wrong or a lie, I'm going to call you out on it, and you're not going to talk over me. I never said that President Trump was being impeached for being a bad person. Now, I do believe he is a bad person, but let me just get it through your thick ears. The reason why Donald Trump is being impeached is for that phone call, and it is for obstruction, for not allowing witnesses to testify. Obstruction with Congress and withholding aid, at least that is what the Democrats believe, and it is what I believe. Now, I will pod you back up, but you are wrong, okay? So don't talk over me and say you think you heard something that I said that I didn't say. Go.
Okay.
No, it's not okay, but go ahead.
Oh, fair enough. I'm sorry. It's not okay. You are the host.
No, it's not okay to say things that are not factually accurate and put words in my mouth.
I understand. I am conceding to you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Let's have a calm conversation. You were talking about President Clinton.
Yes.
And you were making it sound like, and this is what is frustrating me about the discussions about the impeachment and how this is such a solemn thing, and we need to do this. And comparisons with President Clinton fail because he was not impeached over an affair. He was not impeached over what happened with Monica Lewinsky.
He lied because he lied.
He didn't just lie. He lied under oath.
I understand.
We know why he got impeached.
Hold, please, let me finish. I'll make 3 points, and then you can talk all you want. He lied to a grand jury. That's called perjury.
Okay,
it is
we know
a
that.
crime.
We know that.
He suborned perjury.
We know that.
Okay. So those are actual crimes.
Do you not understand the? Okay, hold on a second, Ian. Do you not understand the correlation?
I have one more point to make, and then I swear you can say all you want.
That's very nice of you. Thank you.
The obstruction of Congress. If you go back to the United States versus Holder, or the Senate versus the Holder case, Holder was found to have obstructed Congress at the behest.
Okay, you're killing me, Ian. All right, Ian, you're killing me.
It's like paint dry over
here.
here.
The reason why I played the Bill Clinton stuff is because I was making a point about the president's character. When Donald Trump does something wrong, it could be anything at his presidency. If he attacks a woman based on her looks, if he attacks John McCain because he was captured at war, any of the things that he's done in the last 2 years, and every day he could apologize for something, he never doesn't. He doesn't own it. So regardless of what the crime is, regardless of why Bill Clinton to apologize. The point I was trying to make on the show, Ian, which clearly you didn't get, and you made stuff up about me, by the way, that I didn't say to start the show, is that Bill Clinton actually owned it and apologized. Donald Trump has never apologized for anything. It was a perfect phone call. He's the perfect man. He's the perfect president, and I'm sick of it.
He was making an example of how Bill Clinton handled the situation better than Donald Trump.
No, what Ian was doing was I think this is the gist of it. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty with Ian. He thinks that obstruction of Congress and also abuse of power are not, quote unquote, crimes that President Trump should be impeached for. And he's just wrong.
Yeah,
he's
and
just
by
wrong.
The way, and by the way,
They're impeachable offenses.
And by the way, I never said that the reason why the president was impeached because he's a bad guy. That's just a stupid comment. Let's go to Matt. Matt, you're next on the Vegas Take. I got about a minute for you, Matt. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
So real quick, guys, just for clarification, on obstruction of the obstruction charge, you guys do understand that is the president's congressional constitution. He has the right to basically reject the subpoenas and take those to the Supreme Court. That's what he's done. That's what Obama did. So when you say obstruction,
Obama,
we're not there yet. They never ruled on it. That is his right. So when you subpoena witnesses, the president has a constitutional right to reject those, and he appeals it.
Let me ask you this, Matt.
It's just wrong.
Matt, let me ask you this. First of all, I don't agree, but let me ask you this. What about intimidating witnesses? All right,
No, it's not a fact.
It's not a fact.
It's
but
not.
It is a fact. It's a constitutional fact.
Why would they have a basis to bring the charge of obstruction of Congress to President Trump in an impeachment if he could just do it? I don't understand what the point you're trying to make. You're just wrong. You're flat out wrong.
So again.
Yeah, you're just wrong. Okay, why would they be able to bring that charge?
We got to take a break. We got to take a break. Matt, you are wrong.
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's not correct.
Yes.
Thanks for the call, man.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
Call, man.
Coming up next, we're going to be speaking with the former governor of Massachusetts, and he is a Democratic presidential candidate. Listen, we will, and that is Deval Patrick. He'll be coming up next, but we are going to take more of your calls in the 10 a.m. hour. In fact, in the 10 a.m. hour, we will. I guess what I'm trying to say is we won't rush through some phone calls. We'll try to take as many calls as we can and give people a little bit more time in the 10 a.m. hour. But we have the former governor of Massachusetts, presidential candidate Deval Patrick, coming up next. We're going to ask him about this. What does he think about this impeachment inquiry and much more coming up next? You're listening to the Vegas Take, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Travis Scribner, managing partner of Westpac Wealth Partners, interviews some of the most successful business owners for insight into what makes both them and their business run. Tune in every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN, or podcasts on iTunes.
Imagine if a bad person got a hold of your guns, or even worse, your child. Be a responsible gun owner. Lock them up, and lock them up good in a high-quality Browning safe. Get up to 45% off during our year-end clearance happening right now at the Safekeeper. Scratch and dent and previous year model Browning gun safes deeply discounted. Plus, mention this ad and get an additional $50 off any Browning safe. The Safekeeper, 6220 West Charleston, across from Community College. Or visit thesafekeeper.com.
Each year when the holidays hit, something comes over me like, I ought to give. Well, it's the holidays, and I got that feeling now. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress. At our Best Mattress holiday sale, my gift to you is to sleep, perchance to dream. That's a little Shakespeare for you, kids. Nice, huh? Plus, I'll throw in a $300 gift with a purchase of any Tempur-Pedic mattress and get 72 months no interest financing and free delivery. Best Mattress. Sleep easy, friends.
Haul packages for a living? A gas-powered Mercedes-Benz Sprinter delivers. Transport people? A Sprinter van with 0% financing is a 5-star idea. If food delivery is your thing, then a gas Sprinter caters to you. And if you're a general contractor, the Sprinter with 0% financing nails it. With innovation, safety, and technology, Sprinter is built for you. And it's built for your bottom line with 0% financing. The Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, starting at just $33,790. And for a limited time with IRS Section 179, you could be eligible for up to a $25,000 tax deduction. Gas engine, 0% financing, and a possible tax deduction? Now that's a Sprinter that delivers. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans excluding cab chassis. Qualified commercial customers only. Financing offer valid through January 2nd, 2020. Consult your tax advisor. For more information, limits may apply. Visit mbvans.com.
Warning. This product contains nicotine.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pod sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Las Vegas's only FM news talk station is right here. The new 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Special report, House impeachment debate.
As Speaker of the House, I solemnly and sadly open the debate on the impeachment of the President of the United States.
Nancy Pelosi thus begins several hours of debate in the House.
If we do not act now, we would be derelict in our duty. It is tragic that the President's reckless actions make impeachment necessary. He gave us no choice.
Republican Jody Hice.
The majority has not found a single shred of evidence, only second, third, fourth-hand information, but the facts have remained the same. The transcript speaks for itself. There was no quid pro quo.
Many hours of debate remain today before the House takes an historic vote on the impeachment of President Trump.
Obstruction, abuses, no more excuses.
And outside the Capitol, protesters are making their voices heard on this historic day. The president is charged with abuse of power and obstructing Congress. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report, sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. An accident on the 95 northbound near Las Vegas Boulevard. Vehicles remain off to the right. Slowing still from Charleston, heavy. This should be in the clearing stage here before too long. And light slowing remains a factor on the 15 southbound from the Spaghetti Bowl to Sahara Avenue. No delays on the 95 in the West Valley, and no delays to report on the Southern Beltway, east side and west side. A nice recovery. Great news, there's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com. And in 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, taking Nevadans to Capitol Hill for the latest on the federal issues that matter most to you.
Eye on Washington, Saturday morning at 9:30 on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Hi, Mark Hale here, owner of Today's Energy Store. Winter is here, temperatures are dropping, heaters are coming on, lights are going up on the trees and homes, and that means you're using more electricity. SunPower by Today's Energy Store has fair and upfront honest pricing. We've been helping Nevada homeowners with solar solutions for over 10 years. Sign up to go solar by December 31st, and you can get an extra $1,000 rebate direct from SunPower. Call 702-558-1500. That's 702-558-1500.
This is a commercial announcement. Mike Reagan here. I think the impeachment of President Trump is really outrageous. Nancy Pelosi doesn't care what you think, but many in Congress do. I am asking conservatives to take Newsmax's poll asking if President Trump should be impeached. It's easy to vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text the word ROCK to 95577. That's ROCK to 95577 and vote. Support President Trump by texting the word ROCK to 95577. That's 95577.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. On a Wednesday, it's hump day, and yeah, it's a pretty big news day because the President of the United States is going to be impeached today. And really don't say that very often, right? The last time we said that was, the days of Bill Clinton. And guess what? I was a toddler. Well, I wasn't a toddler, but I was very young and I wasn't on the radio. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So the guy we have with us on the line right now, obviously a former governor out there of Massachusetts. Very recently, he just put his name in the ring, or in the hat, so to speak, as a Democrat running for the President of the United States. Deval Patrick joining us on the line. Governor, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your understanding yesterday. Our flight out was late.
Oh, no problem.
I landed. We had snow back in Boston, and I landed I think just as you guys were going off the air. So thanks for giving me another chance.
Listen, Governor, I understand. I grew up in Connecticut, so I understand. That's why I live in Las Vegas now. So I totally understand.
Don't rub it in, man. Come on.
All right, so let me ask you the big question first, because there are a lot of rumors circulating that Barack Obama is one of the main reasons, who you have a very good relationship with, one of the main reasons why you put your name in the hat, so to speak, to run for president. Is there any truth to that rumor? Have you had talks with Barack Obama about this?
He is a good friend and a political ally and partner as well. But no, this is my decision. I talked to him a lot before I was on the brink of getting in about a year ago, which you may or may not know. I was about 2 or 3 weeks in front of announcing we had a date and a plan and all that, and then my wife was diagnosed with uterine cancer. And that's the sort of thing that just brings your feet back down to earth, you know. And we thought that the better thing was to pay attention to her and to that. I'm delighted to say that we celebrated 35 years of marriage in May.
Congratulations.
Cancer-free, praise God.
That's great.
And fired up. And I've continued to look at the field, and I see a path. And if anything, that path is wider than I thought it was. So no, this is my decision, my family's decision alone.
And congratulations, by the way, on the marriage. And we're very glad your wife is healthy again. That's fantastic to hear, Governor.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you this then about President Obama. Will he be going on the campaign trail with you anytime soon?
Well, you better ask him that. I don't think it'll be soon because, it'll be, I think he wants to wait and should wait, in my view, until we have a nominee. And I want to be that nominee, and I'm working real hard to do that. But no, there's no... We have, he talks to me, talks to all the candidates. I will say I haven't talked to him since I've launched, and I didn't talk to him much before I reconsidered and got in because he's been writing his book, and I've been trying to make sure my wife was strong.
Absolutely. That's understandable. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what is transpiring today, Governor. Of course, this is a historic day, and it's probably, I would fair to say, a sad day for the country. Let me ask you this, Governor, because I played some audio of Bill Clinton back in the day apologizing, a heartfelt apology for lying to the country, basically, and misleading the country. And he owned up to what he did. And I respect anybody that owns up to what they did. And the reason why I played that audio is because, with this president, at least in my personal opinion, he never owns up to anything. He doesn't apologize for anything. And that's the correlation and the point I was trying to make. What did you make of the letter he wrote to Nancy Pelosi, number one, and just his demeanor today and his tweet today attacking Democrats?
Well, I think probably I'm like a lot of other citizens who are exhausted by the bluster and the bravado and like a lot of other patriots taking this moment as the sober moment I think it was intended to be, and I commend the members of the Congress who are treating it that way. I get that these jobs as an office holder and as a candidate are a blend of substance and performance art, but to me, what we get more and more is of the performance art and less of the substance. And as a lawyer, there are clearly breaches protocol and because of the law, and impeachment is an extreme kind of action that any Congress would take. So I think this is, as you said, I think before I came on, it's a solemn day. In the country, it's a solemn period in the country, and be a good thing for us all to take a deep breath and reflect on that, and that there are certain standards and expectations of any office holder, and maybe most especially of the President of the United States that are at stake right now.
If you're just joining us, he is in the presidential race, running as a Democrat and a former governor, of course, of Massachusetts, Deval Patrick.
Governor, given you mentioned, of course, it is a solemn day. It is something that we should be measured, and we should be, we should take a very level-headed approach to. That being said, I have to get your reaction to that scathing letter that the commander-in-chief sent to the Madam Speaker of the House yesterday that is just getting absolutely destroyed left and right just in the past 24 hours. Have to get your take on what transpired there.
Well, it shouldn't really surprise us. I mean, it's the latest in a series, but I just don't think that the office of the presidency is a reality TV episode. I think it is. It's a serious job, and it doesn't mean it shouldn't be approached. It's not that I think that the individual should take him or herself seriously, but the work and what you demonstrate, what you model, is serious, and it has a much broader impact on people than one may think. The numbers of people who talk about their interest in public service having been so deeply affected by John Kennedy or by Ronald Reagan for that matter. That wasn't all about policy. Some of it was about what you modeled as a leader. And I think one of the things that I've been reflecting on the last few years is it turns out that a lot of our democracy depends on unwritten rules, right? Rules around decorum and restraint and respect and a sense of duty. We have an opportunity, I think, to think about that not just in the abstract, but to act on that in this coming election. That's one of the reasons that I'm in the race.
Governor, if you're standing side by side next to Donald Trump on national television in a debate, how do you handle that if he gets personal with you? I remember what Michelle Obama said, they go low, we go high. And my personal opinion on that is I'm not sure that's a winning attitude. That was tried. I hate to say that, but Hillary Clinton tried that and it didn't really work out.
I know.
So how do you handle him, Governor?
I know. Well, listen, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Frankly, a lot of that time on welfare in a 2-bedroom tenement with my mother and sister and a bunch of other relatives who came and went. And the neighborhood in those days was, we used to rag on each other. You'd have, somebody would say something and you'd come back with something else, and eventually they'd get around to your mama.
Right.
That was it. We just sort of went at it.
That was the apex.
But it was also a time when every child was under the jurisdiction of every adult on the block.
Right.
And the adults took responsibility for making sure that our home training, as we used to call it, was appropriate and complete, meaning there was some behavior that was appropriate in the neighborhood and with your pals, and some behavior that was appropriate when you were on a larger stage and in a more serious context. So, look, it will be my instinct, I'm sure, to say your mama, some point. But I just don't think that's. This shouldn't be about who, has the better takedown line.
Right.
I don't feel like I have ever tried to lift myself by tearing anybody else down. And I have a kind of an old-fashioned view of the presidency, maybe, which is that you win your party's nomination, you win the votes you can to win, and that you do to win. But the job is representing everybody: the people who voted for you, the people who didn't, the people who stayed home. It's about seeing and hearing everyone everywhere, and trying to do what you can to help people help themselves.
And I agree. It shouldn't be about the takedown line, but in this day and age where social media is so prevalent, and that when that one statement goes viral, it kind of ends up being the case. I want to talk to you about your politics. What separates your politics from, let's say, a Joe Biden?
Well, I like Joe. In fact, I have I should say the vice president. I like the vice president very much. He was the chair of the Judiciary Committee when I was nominated to head the Civil Rights Division in the Clinton administration. So. We've been working together for many, many years. I think that the difference is that I have been an executive and I have had to make some of those hard calls, and I've done the business of building bridges and, in fact, being a bridge, because I think if you want change that lasts, you've got to bring other people in. So I look at and listen to folks talk about things like like healthcare reform, for example. Well, 99% of the people in Massachusetts have healthcare today. That wasn't because I felt like I had a corner on all the best ideas. It's because we brought other people in, and we kept folks at the table because we were refining based on what we were learning as we went. Folks talk about climate change. We have a model response in Massachusetts with a regional cap and trade plan. We use those proceeds to invest in energy efficiency. We have a statewide resilience and recovery plan that we have invested behind. We closed the remaining coal-fired power plants, and we created as we went a new industry and a lot of jobs in solar and wind and energy efficiency. So others talk, I deliver. They have plans, I have results. And that's the difference between me and many of the other candidates in the field.
Governor, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, a friend of the show, and I'm sure you know him very well. He's out there in Massachusetts. That is Seth Moulton. Obviously this man,
good man.
He's a friend of the show. He comes on our show all the time. Very intelligent. He is a war hero. And, and the reason why I bring him up is this, and I hate to bring up Trumpy again, Governor, but I have to. The day that Seth Moulton decided that he was going to drop out of the presidential race, President Trump decides to take a cheap shot at him, saying, well, who is this guy? And meanwhile, the president is a guy that dodged the military himself. The reason why, and I'm not a Democrat, Governor, I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent, but the reason why I dislike Donald Trump so much has 95% of it has nothing to do with his policy and just as a human being. He goes after a war hero, and this is a guy that dodged the military himself. Now, as someone that is a former governor of Massachusetts yourself, what do you make of Trump going after your friends, in this specific case, a war hero and a great man in Seth Moulton?
Well, Seth is a great man, and he believes, as I do, in this notion of servant leadership. That your role, not just in a job but in life, is to bear your generational responsibility, to do what you can to leave things better for those who come behind you. And I guess the simple answer is that our current president does not believe in that. He believes in celebrity. Look, when I was governor, it was during a period when the National Guard units of every state were the backbone, or a big part of the backbone, of our activities in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I went to every single funeral of every single guardsman or woman who was lost. And they were remarkable, powerful moments. I didn't speak. I never wanted to, because I didn't want anybody to feel like, this was about calling attention to me. It was just trying to be present and supportive of people who, when they are back home, are in units for which I am the commander in chief. And you'd see folks, young people. You could tell, friends of the lost serviceman or woman who were confronting death for the very first time. That you'd see children that the lost serviceman and woman had never seen of their own, that they'd never met. They were solemn occasions, serious and moving occasions, and never once did I think, am I in the presence of a family that voted for me, or is opposed to me, or what was the vote like in the community where I'm attending this? I never thought about that.
Right,
It's not the point.
Exactly.
It's not the point.
No, and Governor, you talk about people who made the ultimate sacrifice. So I got to get your opinion on this. When Donald Trump Jr. in his book talks about Arlington Cemetery, and then he makes a reference to the sacrifices that his family has had to make to the people that have lost their lives and that are buried at Arlington Cemetery. What is your opinion of that?
Well, look, this wouldn't be the first time that that there was a flawed perspective that came from the president or a member of his family. But I say that humbly. We're all flawed. We're all incomplete. God's not done with me yet, and He is not done with the president and the members of his family. What I don't want to do, and what I don't want the race, is my campaign to be about, is just what's wrong with the incumbent. That list is long,
right.
But in a way, it's beside the point because right now, if the character of the candidate is always a question in every one of these cycles, this time it's the character of the country. Because it turns out that what has happened, I think, in the last little while is that we've exposed some unfinished business, right? We've exposed some of it's not just the fact that we're divided, but that it's so easy to divide us because we have a kind of a cartoon view of each other and we don't take a beat or two to understand each other. We listen to all of these cheery economic indicators, but we forget that, inflation is low as long as you don't count the cost of education, healthcare, or housing, right? The things that enable you to lift yourself onto a path of economic mobility. Unemployment is low as long as you do count the 2 or 3 minimum wage jobs that you're working in order to survive.
Right,
Governor.
Yeah. So anyway,
no, that's
I'm
okay.
On a rant here.
That's quite all right.
Rants are all right.
Governor, I just wanted to get your opinion. When Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told reporters Tuesday that he will not act as an impartial juror, how did you feel about that?
I felt like I have felt on the eve of the inauguration of Barack Obama, when we had an economic crisis unlike anything we'd seen in a generation or two, and everybody was scrambling to figure out a way to keep us from sliding into a full-on depression, and the response of that same leader was to say that the number one objective of the Republican Party was to make Barack Obama a one-term president. So, folks talk about wanting more Democrats or more Republicans in the Senate or in the House and so on. We could use a few more patriots.
That's right.
Governor, you along with Michael Bloomberg were late entrants in the presidential race. Do you think that Hillary Clinton is going to put her hat in the ring at any point?
I have no idea. I really no idea. I've heard every kind of rumor, but I'm not paying any attention to that.
Understandable.
It is true that the race is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm later, but I'm not late.
Now, I want to ask you this. I think more Democrats need to go on Fox News, and so my question to you is this: just like I think Republicans need to go on MSNBC, right? I thought Hillary Clinton made a mistake. She didn't do shows like the Howard Stern show when she was running. She didn't make appearances on Fox News. I think she made a big mistake doing that. So my question to you is this: have you requested going on shows like the Sean Hannity show, the Tucker Carlson show, the Laura Ingraham show? Listen, I am not a big supporter, particularly of Laura Ingraham or anybody that says white supremacy is a hoax. But with that being said, don't you think it would help you personally to get into a good-spirited debate with one of those hosts on Fox News? Because I personally believe, like I said, more Democrats need to do that.
Yeah, listen, first of all, I'm not. I don't manage that part of the campaign. I don't mind talking to anybody. I don't have a corner. I don't think any one candidate or one party has a corner on all the best ideas. But if it's any place I go, I want it to be about the ideas and not just the entertainment.
Sure.
I have a really good friend I got to know when I worked in Washington in the Clinton administration, who is himself a conservative talk show host. And he had a radio show at the time. I think he's since gone on to do TV. We're not in touch so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going on his show and talking about what was becoming today's Fox News and the whole genre of so-called right-wing radio and TV.
Yeah.
Much of it today, propaganda. Less so then, but
right.
Much of it today.
I agree.
And he said, and I said, how does this happen? How do people just ignore facts and propagate these rumors and take down just gratuitous? And he said to me, "You don't understand." He said, "This is entertainment. You think this is about politics. This is entertainment." And I said, "But this is destructive
It can be. No, I get your point there. And listen, Governor, you're absolutely right. There are plenty of these shows. All they care about entertainment. They don't care about actually getting factual news out there. I don't disagree. Well, Governor, let me end by saying this. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And we're very happy to hear that your wife is battled through cancer and she's made it through okay. So, and we have I think I speak for everybody in the studio. We have a great amount of respect for you and your family. Thank you. And hopefully next time you're back in Las Vegas, we can get you in studio. We'd love to have you here.
I was just going to say I much prefer that. Get a chance to look each other in the
I love
eye.
it.
And, that way, when I know I'm teasing, I can tell who I'm reaching and who I'm not.
Governor, we're going to take you up on that, sir. Thank you so much again for your time. We appreciate it.
You guys be well.
All right.
Well,
Hey, thanks a lot, Governor.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. All right, there you go. Former Governor of Massachusetts, Deval Patrick, in the presidential race. We're going to take a quick break. We'll take your calls when we come back. 702-257-5396. Be back right after this.
Hey, have you heard that ransomware attacks have increased by 500% this year?
Yeah, cybercriminals are targeting all types of businesses, encrypting their data and holding it hostage unless they pay up.
What if we're their next victim?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda to detect, prevent, and recover from ransomware and other advanced threats.
So we're secured?
Absolutely. We'll pay no ransom and keep this business up and running.
That's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777 or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
What's your reason to do LASIK? No need to put it off any longer this summer. Dr. Kent Wellish at Wellish Vision Institute is here to improve your vision for a better outlook on life.
My reason? I want to wake up and see, and to stop paying for glasses and contacts. LASIK is a permanent solution for a low-maintenance lifestyle.
My reason? I want a board-certified, non-corporate chain, top doc surgeon who I can trust to perform my LASIK.
Whatever your reason, schedule your free one-on-one LASIK consultation at Wellish Vision Institute by the end of the month and receive $1,000 off LASIK. On top of that, we offer 0% financing for 2 full years. Wellish Vision Institute now has 3 convenient locations no matter where you're located. We're close. Call 702-733-2020 or visit wellishvision.com to book your free consultation. Don't wait any longer. Now is the time to get the clear vision you deserve. Certain restrictions apply. Financing with approved credit.
V is for victory, except on Saturdays when V is for veterans. That's Veterans Talk, The Forgotten Promise. Join us every Saturday from noon to 1.
Veterans Talk every Saturday at noon on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN. Join Coach Harvey Hyde and Chuck Hayes Saturday evenings from 9 to 10 p.m. for Trojan Football Report, presented by South Point Hotel and Casino, here on 101.5 FM and 720 AM KDWN, where Las Vegas comes to talk.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDARN.
Hey, it's Lee Goldberg of the GCI Guys at Realty One Group. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, rent, move from California? If so, give them my number, 702-902-3029. All listeners of the Vegas Take get $1,000 in your hand back at closing. Hometown heroes, veteran, military, police, teacher, nurse, I'm giving you $2,000 back. That also goes for hospitality and casino employees. Free use of a moving truck for a day, 6 free months of home security. Call me, 702-902-3029, the GCI guys.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever, 99 cents, plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pods sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
They say the holidays are the most stressful time of the year, but not for me, man. I love the holidays. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress. But if the holidays have you feeling a bit funky, good news. At our Best Mattress holiday sale, save hundreds on all our best brands: Serta, Sealy, Beautyrest, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. And if you're racking your brain for a gift idea, bundle and save 25% on Pure Care bedding essentials. Plus, get up to 72 months, no interest financing. Best Mattress. Sleep easy, friends.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Hours of debate lie ahead before the House takes an historic vote on whether to impeach President Trump for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Republican Doug Collins has played a prominent role in defending the president.
This has not been a surprise, and it's not even something that we would have not thought about. From the very moment that the majority party in this House won, the inevitability that we would be here today was only a matter of what date they would schedule it.
The debate was opened by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
What we are discussing today is the established fact that the president violated the Constitution. It is a matter of fact that the president is an ongoing threat to our national security and the integrity of our elections, the basis of our democracy.
The actual vote will be held this evening at about the same time the president is staging a campaign rally in the battleground state of Michigan. I'm Mike Moss. Paul Manafort, the president's former campaign manager, will not be tried on fraud charges in New York State. We get the latest from correspondent Steve Kastenbaum.
The Manhattan District Attorney wanted to try Manafort on mortgage fraud charges, but the judge here said he had already been convicted on charges that included similar allegations at the federal level, and it would be double jeopardy. So Manafort won't be back in court. He's serving 7.5 years after being convicted in federal court on a variety of charges, including tax evasion.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Defense Secretary Mark Esper are meeting their Indian counterparts today for strategic and security talks as both countries deal with domestic political crises. The Trump administration is trying to push its strategy to counter the rising influence of China, but the meeting comes amid widespread protesting and violent clashes in India over a new citizenship law there. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 5, S&P up 1 at this hour. I'm Mike Moss.
Your home for Sean Hannity, KDWN Las Vegas, KKLZ HD2 Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station. It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. An accident on the 215 Beltway eastbound at Decatur. Vehicles off left. Also an accident still active on the 95 northbound near Eastern Avenue. Vehicles off to the left. On the surface streets, a crash. Spencer at Serene. And an accident injury sustained reported on K Street at Wyatt Avenue. Watch for police and fire. Indeed knows your company's roadmap to success starts with hiring first-rate employees. Visit Indeed.com/hire today and try tailored solutions to help discover the best people for your business. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
It's open enrollment season, and Medishare is the Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google Medishare and see if it's a fit for you. Medishare, healthcare you can believe in.
Psst, Bob, quick, the neighbors. There they go again. Geez, it's like clockwork. Every weekend, he grabs his clubs, she grabs a duffel, and they're gone for the night. And when they come back, they look so relaxed and happy. Where do you think they go?
Well, they're not rich, so it must be affordable. Maybe some kind of marriage retreat?
Oh, right, with golf clubs. And she looks so refreshed.
We could use some of whatever it is. Go ask them when they get back.
Well, they're back. And you won't believe it.
Surprise me.
They've been going to Casablanca Resort in Mesquite on that $99 room and golf getaway. Sometimes they go for the $99 room and spa getaway. They love it.
Hey, we could afford $99, and it's only a little more than an hour's drive. Let's treat ourselves.
Book your $99 room and golf or spa getaway today at mesquitegaming.com or call 877-GETAWAY. Casablanca Resort in Mesquite, just like Vegas used to be. Must be 21 years or older.
Hey, Chuck, I saw on CNN that over 40% of the American population can't cover a $400 emergency expense. Is that true?
The bad news, yes, 100% true. The good news, this is exactly the group of folks we welcome every day at Dollar Loan Center. I can't tell you how many times I've told the critics of our industry to simply walk into a bank and try to borrow a couple $1,000s. Most banks won't even take your application, Craig. We get it at Dollar Loan Center. We're here for you, the real people in Nevada who run into a pinch every now and then.
That was Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center, where you can get up to $5,000 in just minutes and have up to a year to pay it back, even if you don't have a checking account. We have over 50 locations, and our friendly Dollar Loan Center staff are ready to help. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, rolling out the red carpet for hour number 2. Sharp and Shapiro. We got a jam-packed studio here at Campaign here. We got C-Win. Of course, it's Wednesdays, winning with C-Win. So,
Winning. We
that's
are
right.
winning.
Oh, that's right. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, you heard this story about these little cowboy hats that are being pasted on top of pigeons. Well, the woman who is partially responsible for finding 2 of those pigeons and taking the hats off their heads will be joining us coming up here in a little bit. Chris Kattan, very funny comedian, hour number 3. So stay tuned for that. Also, I want to thank one of our very, very lovely listeners. Usually I get hate mail. This is much better than hate mail. We actually have a loyal listener, Marge, who sent us some cheese and crackers, and we appreciate that, Marge. Thank you for being a loyal listener and a supporter of the show. We really do appreciate you. So I want to talk a little bit more about what is a very historic day. We just had Governor Deval Patrick on the show, former governor of Massachusetts, running as a presidential candidate, of course, on the Democratic side. And Donald Trump tweeting out this morning, "Can you believe that I will be impeached today by the radical left? Do nothing Democrats. I did nothing wrong. A terrible thing. Read the transcripts. This should never happen to another president again. Say a prayer." And he writes this letter yesterday that I thought was atrocious. And we're taking your phone calls, by the way, now at 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call, 257-5396. So the president writes this letter yesterday. It was a 12-year-old temper tantrum letter, although I'm sure he would call it a perfect letter that was sent to Nancy Pelosi. So Jake Tapper reacted to this letter on CNN. I thought it was an appropriate reaction. Have a listen to this.
And one of the things it says, he says, President says that this is all about Democrats not able to get over his win in 2016. About Pelosi, he says, "You view democracy as your enemy."
Yep.
And then, honestly, this is almost like a letter that Kim Jong-un wrote. Like, I mean, in terms of
Yeah.
like the hyperbole.
Yes,
is
and the
like
florid
really,
nature of
really
it.
strong.
A lot of good adjectives.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, Jake Tapper's absolutely right. It's like an evil dictator. The way, the wording that he uses in this letter. And it goes back to what I said earlier. And if you missed the first hour, we started off the show by playing some Bill Clinton audio. The day before Bill Clinton was impeached, he gave a heartfelt apology. And I believed him when he said he felt horrible that he misled the country as far as the sexual relationship he had with Monica Lewinsky. The president has never owned up to anything in his life. He doesn't take responsibility for anything in his life. He's had yes men around him his whole life, and he thinks the rules do not apply to him. Well, guess what, Mr. President? There's a reason why you are getting impeached. There's also a reason why, and you can make the argument George W. Bush made a lot of mistakes as president, but he was not impeached. Barack Obama was not impeached. There's a reason for that, because they didn't do anything to get impeached. Okay, you did. The number to call, 702-257-5396, is the number to call. Again, 257-5396. Let's go to William. William, you are first up on the Vegas Take. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey,
I just, this letter that the president wrote to Nancy Pelosi, it's childish. And, I'm not a supporter of either side. But what I will say is, if everything that's coming out, the way that all of the wiretaps and everything were approved, has all been illegally and also through deception and lies. Why is nobody, or I'm not saying nobody, but if you're somebody who's down the middle, wouldn't you say that the way that all of this was done was also incorrect? And if this was a person who had committed a crime and the police had illegally searched their premises and found a nuclear bomb, this person will be acquitted.
Well, William, here's my response to that, William. There is no evidence to support the fact that the FBI illegally spied on the president of the United States. If there was proof of that, then I would agree with you, but there isn't, so it's academic.
Well, I'm talking about the warrants that they got to look into it. They omitted information. They changed information. That this guy was working for the CIA. That's the reason he was in Russia. This kind of stuff. And it's all stupid. I know that. But the point is
are you talking about the warrants granted by the Obama administration to spy on him in New York? And,
Are you talking about the FISA warrants? Is that what you're talking about? The whole FISA situation? Yeah. Oh, well, but that's not really academic. That has nothing to do with the impeachment of the president of the United States. I don't really understand what
he's just saying. There's a double standard.
President, right? Aren't they using that information to impeach the president?
Well, it's been already established, yes, that there were errors in judgment with respect to some lower level people in the FBI or people in the FBI. Period.
And James Comey
but it's
made
not
that
something
statement.
that rose to a level that is scandalous by any stretch of the imagination, or it's something that is even on the level of the impeachment of the president. I don't really understand.
Number to call if you want to join the program.
Yeah, thanks, William.
That number is 702-257-5396. Again, that number 257-5396 if you want to join in on the discussion. Of course, a historic day as the president of the United States will be impeached. Let's go to Gilbert. Gilbert, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead, Gilbert.
What's up, Gilbert?
Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Real quick, earlier you said that it's not Donald Trump, the policy, it's more the person you don't like.
Sure.
And I understand that. But what I'm conflicted with is why you have Michael Avenatti on your radio show, because he has a lot of conflicting things on him.
Sure. Let me respond to that. Sure. Let me respond to that statement. First of all, as far as I'm concerned, Michael Avenatti, first of all, he's not the president of the United States, number one. Number two, he's never been convicted of a crime. Number three, he's got over $1 billion of settlements. He's a great guest. He's a smart guy. And number four, Michael Avenatti didn't decapitate two people, but if O.J. Simpson gave us a call today and said he wanted to come on our show, I would absolutely let him come on as well.
And number five,
we would give him a nice, fair platform to do so. We wouldn't have a biased platform.
And number five, Michael Avenatti, the reason we have him on the show, right, is we get political opinions from Michael, okay? Yeah. We don't talk, we're not, when Michael Avenatti's on the show, the discussion is not about Michael Avenatti's own personal legal issues or anything like that. The discussion is always about the current political situation, right? And Michael's opinion on that.
And I would argue his insight is as good as anybody's.
Absolutely.
Do you mind if I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So I understand your point. He's an opinionated person, and he has stature, like in his community.
Exactly.
At the same time, though, he has a lot of baggage, and I don't really want to hear from a person who has baggage. I'd rather have you guys have a better guest. Because when you put on Michael Avenatti, that takes
What's your favorite radio show, Gilbert?
Coast to Coast AM.
Okay, I've never heard of that show. Give me a show that I've heard of before.
No. Okay, one more radio show that I like.
A distinguished TV guest or radio guest. I'll even give you TV. What is your favorite show that you watch or listen to?
My favorite show used to be a Bill O'Reilly show.
Okay, so you're okay. So
Bill
hold on.
O'Reilly, no bang.
Hold on, Chris. Hold your horses. Yeah. So you mean to tell me, Gilbert, that you don't think Bill O'Reilly has ever had a guest on his show that has had baggage before? Is that your position?
No, I'm saying Bill O'Reilly. did have, of course he did. But
Okay, and what about the host himself, Bill O'Reilly? According to one of his kids, threw the mother of his child down a flight of stairs. According to one of his kids.
Got what he got.
So
how many settlements did Bill O'Reilly settle out of court?
So here's the point.
Here's
the point I'm trying to make, Gilbert. You just called into the show saying that Michael Avenatti has quote unquote baggage. Yet you just told me your favorite TV show was Bill O'Reilly, who has 10 times the baggage that Michael Avenatti has.
I get it.
Well,
I get it.
So why would you say that?
So why would you say it then on the air?
Okay, I know I can contradict myself. I get it, but I was being honest with you.
You know what? Okay, well, you know what? If you're willing to admit that you contradicted yourself, Gilbert, then I respect you, and I appreciate you calling in, Gilbert. Thank you for admitting that, and we appreciate the phone call. Thank you.
Good call, Gilbert. I just want to tell anybody that calls in here, as you guys are noticing, have your facts straight. Be respectful.
I will fact check you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it happens immediately.
And campaign. It's not even that hard to fact check them, right?
No, I'm talking about immediately.
It takes us a whole 2 seconds in our brain
on your head
to rearrange.
Bill
what
O'Reilly. Yeah, what's your favorite? I knew he was going to say somebody on Fox.
Classic.
Bill O'Reilly. Okay, the king of sexual harassment, who can't get laid, so he sexually harasses women.
He has baggage, Gucci bags.
You want to talk about baggage? 257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Morning, gents.
Good morning.
So I think after a call you had earlier, it has to do with fact checking. And you guys are totally wrong in trying to correct him. What he was saying was executive privilege. And it is the president's right to throw it on the Supreme Court to say if Congress can go after him for anything.
All right,
That's
so
he doesn't have the right. He doesn't have the right, though, to block people in his administration from testifying to Congress. That's why it's called obstruction of Congress.
Chris, Mike, hang on.
I mean, I'm just trying to point out the facts to the gentleman on the line.
He's going to disagree with you on that, but I'm going to ask him.
I don't know why.
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him a very specific question.
Do you know what executive privilege is?
Wait, did you just say doorknob?
Yeah, to the other guy that.
Okay, Mike. Okay.
Yes, I do know what executive privilege is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then why don't you explain it to us?
Well, I'm not going to. That's not really necessary given these.
Okay,
wait. You're the one that called in, and you're the one calling in, spouting off executive privilege with respect to the president of the United States who's getting impeached today because of obstruction of Congress, and you're telling me to explain what it is? Come on, man.
Okay, Mike. Okay, Mike. Now I'm going to have a brief conversation with you, and don't call me a name because we're going to hang up on you, Mike.
Oh, come on, you guys call people's names.
Okay, Mike.
I don't call you a name.
Okay, Chris, stop for a second.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm talking to you now. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't call you a name. Okay. Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity. It's not your show. It's
Well,
mine.
you probably
When the president,
deserve it.
okay, are you done? The president of the United States has intimidated witnesses that have been on the stand. I could give you several specific examples of intimidation.
That's not what I'm talking
Well,
about.
that's what I'm talking about now. So be quiet and listen, doorknob.
No,
okay? Pot him down. Pot him down. Pot him down. Pod Mike the doorknob, the right-wing bias buffoon. Pot him down.
Brian.
Here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, okay, witnesses that are on the stand and the president tweets out stuff while they're testifying, attacking their character, attacking their record, and it's called intimidation of witnesses. Now, what is the legal term of that, doorknob Mike? I'm going to pod you up one more time, you dumb doorknob. Why don't you tell me right now, what is the definition of somebody that intimidates a witness legally? Now I'm going to ask you a question since you seem to know everything, Mr. Intelligent Doorknob. I'm going to give you one chance to answer the question and one chance only. Answer the question. Not to sound like John McEnroe. I'm spitting all over the microphone. Yes. Explain to me, if you intimidate a witness, what is that crime? Answer the question, doorknob.
Well, after you wipe off the microphone from your
Answer the question. Answer the question. I don't care if that's the reason why. Answer the question.
Mike, it would take 7 or 8 times to wipe that microphone off. It's
Answer the question, Mike.
That's not why I called.
Yeah,
in.
because you're an ignoramus. Get off the show, you ignorant buffoon.
Hey, good call, Mike.
You don't call
Mike.
You don't call one of my in-studio guests a doorknob, and then you're too dumb enough to even answer a question. Go back to Alabama. 257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to L. L, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
What's up, L?
Good morning, my good cop friends.
Good morning.
Listen,
Just don't call me doorknob.
you know what? Have we ever had a president who used this executive privilege model? His whole 4 years, or however long he's been in, has been executive privileges claims. This man is an absolute joke. And the problem I have when I'm listening to the FISA and all this, and it's wrong, but these were just insiders who were terrified of somebody like this getting in office They expected this. They knew it was going to happen, and they just didn't know what to do. So they started doing all these things, and I can certainly understand. We've realized our greatest fears with this idiot, and now it's terrifying to see how we're going to get him out of there. And I don't know even if this is going to work.
Well, Elle, I hate to break it to you.
It's not going to work.
It's probably not going to work. But you know what? There are some people that have made a good point. Listen, we know this is going to pass the Senate. He's still going to be the president at least until 2020. But here's the point I will make.
And if it doesn't pass the Senate, or if it does pass the Senate, and if he does get impeached, there'll be riots. There'll be civil unrest.
No, there won't be riots. I'll tell you, there has to be two sides.
There 100% will be, Chris.
JD, there has to be two.
You will see militias all over the country. I promise you, it's going to take.
Going after who?
No.
If there's going to be a civil war, there has to be two sides.
I'm not talking about a civil war. I'm saying there's going to be riots. There's going to be problems.
Well, let me just make this point, Elle, and then I'll let you respond. My point is this: even if it doesn't pass the Senate, and we know it won't, it is still on the president's record. It tarnishes his reputation. Clearly, it has gotten to him based on the letter yesterday and the tweet today. It tarnishes his record as the president. He has been impeached, Elle. And for that reason and that reason alone, I think it does hold him accountable, and it is worth it.
It's cutting down his ego.
I agree with you. And do you know how many people showed up for the rally last night? Because I
in
really
Vegas,
was tempted to go.
They, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because they were all across the country yesterday, and the president likes to.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I do too, Ellen. By the way, we appreciate the call. Good to hear from you. The president. The president likes to brag about the campaign trail. He likes to brag about all the people that are packed into these arenas to hear him speak. It's funny he didn't tweet about all the protests that were going on throughout the country yesterday. Funny how he didn't talk about that. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Tony. Tony, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
What's up, Tony?
Hey guys, if you from a independent voter standpoint here, if you want to talk about stuff like executive privilege or abuse of Congress or obstruction of Congress, I mean, look, man, Eric Holder. Let's bring in Eric Holder. Let's bring in Barack Obama. Let's bring in all these guys because I'll tell you straight up. None of those guys would even respond to subpoenas and tell me that I'm wrong. And that's all I got.
Whataboutism? We're doing whataboutism now?
Elle's probably sexually frustrated or whatever her name was.
I'm sorry? What did you just say?
You're talking about Loretta Lynch?
No, he said Elder.
No, he said the caller.
So
was sexually frustrated.
He was talking about the caller.
Well, look, I mean,
the previous caller.
There's a lot of whataboutism going on.
Tony,
here,
is that all?
Yeah,
but
Tony,
there kind of has to be in this situation, considering that Barack Obama was the former president of the United States.
First of all, the last caller
but
showed
there's been no evidence whatsoever that Barack Obama or anybody has been involved in any of this.
First of all, what that last guy said, he took a page from the Donald Trump playbook and insulting a woman and making a sexual reference. You are disgusting.
Yeah, that was actually a great call before that part.
Yeah.
That was totally unnecessary. No, before that part, it was a great call.
No, but here's why
taking a shot at Elle for no reason whatsoever is ridiculous.
Number to call 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call 257-5396. Yes, that is whataboutism. We're not talking about Barack Obama and subpoenas and Eric Holder. I didn't even vote for Barack Obama. I'm not a fan of Eric Holder, but that is academic to this specific discussion. The only reason why I brought up Bill Clinton and the comments that he made is for one simple reason and one simple reason only.
Donald Trump.
No.
Yes, to make an example of Donald Trump for not being as
do you disagree with that?
Apologetic about the situation as Bill Clinton, who actually received, again, oral sex in the office and then lied about it in a court of law.
Well, all right. So how many? Why is it that like the people right now who like the Democrats, they will go on oath and stuff, right? And let's talk about this. All the Republicans, nobody wants to go and have and go into the Congress right now and.
That's a very good point.
And none of them want to go.
You know why?
Oath.
You know why?
Because they can be held accountable.
Because they're going to perjure themselves.
Right.
That's why.
Exactly.
It's the same. It's the reason why Donald Trump won't go under oath. By the way, Bill Clinton went under oath. So for people out there that want to, talk about Bill Clinton, he went under oath. He lied under oath. And guess what? If Donald Trump went under oath, I guarantee you the same thing would happen.
I would argue it's because what happened to Cohen and Manafort and et
No,
cetera.
JD.
Which actually, and you could say, why is Michael Avenatti on our show? Michael Avenatti is probably 80% responsible as far as why Michael Cohen is in prison right now.
I would say 99% responsible. 257-5396 is the number to call.
Yeah.
Let's go to James. James, you're next on the Vegas Take.
James, what's happening?
What's going on?
Hey, what's up, James?
How you doing, man?
Good.
I called y'all yesterday as an African American voter who voted for Trump,
and that was a great call.
I voted for. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
I voted for Barack Obama the first term, but like a lot of people, you know, I grew up in Chicago. I knew Barack Obama before he ran. I knew who he was. I knew he was a fraud because I knew him from the South Side. I actually knew him from the South Side of Chicago in his early days as a community organizer.
Why is Obama a fraud?
He's a fraud. Let me tell you, man. If you really knew, if you think that you can get voted to any place in Chicago without the backing of Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson in the black community on the South Side of Chicago, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. Okay. You have to get their blessing to get elected to any office.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then.
He never was he in public office though in the city of Chicago, or was the first public office he held was as a senator, right, in Illinois? I thought he wasn't.
No, he was a state congressman in Illinois, and his base was the South Side of Chicago.
All right, so let me ask you a question, James.
I'm not even here to say this. What I'm here to say is the Democrats, man. If they would have came out and said, hey, man, you know, we're going to work with Trump. We don't agree with what he's got to say, but, you know, we're going to work with him and try to see what we agree with.
And you don't think any of them have done that when it comes to gun control, when it goes to health care? You don't think any of Democrats?
I mean, you think Schumer and Pelosi have played ball at all?
Well, no, what you're doing is you're making a dream scenario of what you think the Democrats should. No, I'm talking to the caller, JD. What the caller is doing, you're making a dream scenario of what you think the Democrats should have done to keep Donald Trump from being impeached. Is that what you're trying to say?
James, I'm going to let you finish your statement, but for the record, you started off this conversation by attacking Barack Obama and calling him a fraud. Have you ever
attacking Barack Obama because I know more about him than you will ever know?
Okay, well,
he was the president of the United States.
Okay,
we all know about him.
Okay, James, let me tell you something. Okay,
we all know about him.
Hold on, James.
I worked on his campaign the first.
All right,
time.
pot him down for a second. Pot him down for a second. He's not going to like me interrupting him, but let me be very clear with you, James, on this one, okay? One thing I will say about Barack Obama, good husband, good father, a decent man. Now, if you want to call him a fraud, that's fine. But to attack Barack Obama and his character and to be silent on Donald Trump tells me, James, that you have zero credibility. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your relationship was with Barack Obama. But what I can tell you is this. Barack Obama is a decent man.
Why do you expect him to be negative about Donald Trump when he's making a point about Obama? You didn't give him the opportunity to talk about Donald Trump. I'm going to pot him back up. You can't say he's not credible.
Okay, let's give him that opportunity.
Unless you give him the opportunity to talk about Trump, and then he gives you a reason to say you're not credible.
Well, I'm going to give him that opportunity, but he started off this conversation not talking about Donald Trump, talking about Barack
James,
Obama.
If you have something smoking gun about Barack Obama, please, I would like to hear it.
All right, James, what do you think about Donald Trump? Go ahead, James. We're going to pod you back up.
Okay, let me explain to you. I'm going to tell you about Donald Trump, but let me explain to you where I'm coming from. My family has been in the politics in the South Side of Chicago.
I don't care.
Look, we understand there's corrupt people in Illinois in politics. We get that. We all know that. We get that. We understand that. I don't understand what and by the way, you say you make this seem like you know Barack Obama way more than all of us do. The guy was president in 8 years of this country. We all know a lot about Barack Obama.
James, unfortunately, I'm up against a break, my man. I gave you an opportunity, and then you're telling me about your family's politics, and I don't really care. I don't really care about that. I gave you an opportunity to comment on Donald Trump. We gave you fair time to do that. I even potted you back up, and you weren't able to do it.
He was making his point, and you said that you don't care. You didn't give him enough time. You should call back again and have this conversation.
No, I didn't say. I gave him an opportunity to talk about Donald Trump, and then he took the opportunity to talk about his family. And I'm sure he has such a tremendous amount of experience, and he was very close with Barack Obama. Thank you for the call, James. Coming up next. Coming up next, we're going to be talking to Mariah Hillman. She is from Lofty Hopes. She is basically the person that is responsible for taking these hats off of these pigeons. This is a crazy story. We'll talk to her coming up next. You're listening to The Vegas Take.
What's your reason to do LASIK? No need to put it off any longer this summer. Dr. Kent Wellish at Wellish Vision Institute is here to improve your vision for a better outlook on life.
My reason? I want to wake up and see, and to stop paying for glasses and contacts. LASIK is a permanent solution for a low-maintenance lifestyle.
My reason? I want a board-certified, non-corporate chain, top doc surgeon who I can trust to perform my LASIK.
Whatever your reason, schedule your free one-on-one LASIK consultation at Wellish Vision Institute by the end of the month and receive $1,000 off LASIK. On top of that, we offer 0% financing for 2 full years. Wellish Vision Institute now has 3 convenient locations no matter where you're located. We're close. Call 702-733-2020 or visit wellishvision.com to book your free consultation. Don't wait any longer. Now is the time to get the clear vision you deserve. Certain restrictions apply. Financing with approved credit.
Does your child love math? Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students. And whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now. 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Hill with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Children love to play, but did you know play is important for healthy brain development? Play helps children learn language, math, and social skills, and lowers stress. This is good for kids and their parents. The next time your child wants to play with you, say yes. It's one of the best parts of being a parent. For more information on child development, visit healthychildren.org or talk with your pediatrician.
720 on the AM, 101.5 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON.
Special report House impeachment debate. The House is engaged in several hours of final debate before a vote this evening on whether to impeach President Trump. Republican Doug Collins.
We're going to talk about 2 articles of impeachment. Abuse of power, because they can't actually pin anything of factual basis on him. The president did nothing wrong in this issue. And then they're going to talk about obstruction of Congress. You know, obstruction of Congress, as I've said before, is like petulant children saying we didn't get our way when we didn't ask the right way and we didn't actually go after it and try to make a case.
Democrat Jerry Nadler.
By his actions, President Trump has broken his oath of office. His conduct continues to undermine our Constitution and threaten our next election. His actions warrant his impeachment and demand his removal from office. I urge my colleagues to support these articles.
The House will vote on the 2 charges, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Democrats say they have the votes to approve them. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. An accident on the 215 Beltway eastbound at Decatur. Vehicles off left. Also an accident still active on the 95 northbound near Eastern Avenue. Vehicles off to the left. On the surface streets, a crash. Spencer at Serene. And an accident injury sustained reported on K Street at Wyatt Avenue. Watch for police and fire. Indeed knows your company's roadmap to success starts with hiring first-rate employees. Visit Indeed.com/hire today and try tailored solutions to help discover the best people for your business. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Hi, I'm Raymond Denon, Vice President of Optima Tax Relief. If you're in debt to the IRS, there's a lot you need to know. Starting with rule number 1, don't mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. Indeed will also give you this sticky frog, which will suddenly leap and stick to the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no sticky frog. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire and try skills tests for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Here is some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. It's the affordable alternative to health insurance, and it's worked beautifully for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry, and over the years, members have shared over $3 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. You're not stuck with a high-cost health plan. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They are super easy to talk to. Call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work study funds. Learn more at studentaid.gov.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
Honestly, this is almost like a letter that Kim Jong-un wrote.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. It's C Winning Wednesday. C Win joining us. We got Campaign here, our videographer.
Oh, yeah.
We are
Campaign in the house,
broadcasting live on YouTube. It is the Vegas Take page.
Add
so
a little flavor to it.
Check it out. Lot to get to. And by the way, coming up in hour number 3, Chris Kattan, very funny comedian. You know him from the SNL days. He'll be joining us. We have some tickets to give away to see him. So stay tuned for that. We'll take some more of your calls coming up here in a little bit. But it's a story that I think has raised a lot of eyebrows here in Vegas, especially if you like pigeons. You're an animal lover like I am. This is a little ridiculous. You know, of course, the National Finals rodeo was in town. A lot of cowboys in town. We don't know if a cowboy did this or not. But what we do know, you got these little cowboy hats that have been, in a way, pasted on. I don't know if it's Gorilla Glue or what they're using. Pasted on several of these pigeons. It is disgusting. It is awful. It is inhumane, whatever you want to call it. So the woman we have with us on the line right now, she's done a fantastic job. She works with Lofty Hope's Pigeon Rescue. Her name is Mariah Hillman, and she has actually rescued a couple of these pigeons, taken these hats off of their heads. It's a bizarre story, and we appreciate her taking some time to join us. Mariah, how are you?
Hello, Mariah.
How are you?
Doing good, Mariah. I got a lot of questions to ask you. First of all, when did you first hear about this story, and how disgusted were you at that point when you heard it?
I heard about it 8 days ago. I was tagged in the original post by Bobby Lee on Facebook by an activist friend of mine. And at first, I really didn't think it was real. And so I went ahead and I messaged Bobby Lee and asked him, where was the location that this was happening? He gave me the location, and we immediately drove out there to do a welfare check on these animals, and we didn't see any. We came back the next day after some people had messaged us and given us basically the same location. And upon driving in, the first thing we saw was a pigeon in a hat, and I was just shocked. I was shocked, disgusted. I couldn't believe it.
Where is the location, if you don't mind me asking you?
It's in between UNLV and the airport.
Okay, so that's just an awful, crappy area. So did the police find anybody that may or may not have, done this? I mean, did they any leads or anything like that?
There is a lot of leads. A lot of neighbors have given us a lot of information, and we've passed that information on to the police. So I'm pretty sure that we know who's doing it.
Get these stupid bastards that did this. You know what I kind of like about this, Mariah? You've put like a name to some of these pigeons, which I find kind of cool. You've rescued Billy the Pidge, and is it Cluck Norris? Do I have those names correct?
Yes. Cluck Norris was originally named by Fox 5, and so we kind of followed suit with the names.
So explain to me, what are they using? They're using glue to put these hats on these pigeons. This is not only is it horrible for the pigeons, but it's also dangerous, is it not?
Yeah, it's glue for sure. The vet confirmed it, and it can be dangerous. Pigeons have very sensitive respiratory system. Even cooking in Teflon pans can kill them. So the fumes from the glue absolutely could have killed them.
All right, so it's my understanding that there is one pigeon that is still out there. The name of this pigeon is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Calamity Jane. Is that correct?
Yes, Calamity.
I like that. It's a great name.
So how are you on the lookout for this pigeon? And is it possible that somebody might have taken that hat off, or maybe the hat came off on its own? Is that possible?
No, we saw her this morning. We're sitting out here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Out now. Yeah, we saw her this morning when we pulled up. We're sitting here. We've got the trap set. I haven't seen her in a little while, but after 8 days of doing this now, I know her routine, and usually she comes back around 11, so she should be here anytime.
All right, so break down for me your process as far as the stakeout, your reconnaissance methods.
Well, we started out the first day, all we had was a net. And when we saw that bird, we chased him around for 2 hours with a net. Wasn't going to work because he could fly. So we gave up on that idea. We went home. We got traps. We came back with the bird traps, but we needed permission to put them up on the roof. So we started asking around. We got permission from 2 people, but it wasn't in the same area as where the birds were hanging out. And someone is feeding them. So that's where they're staying, is where the food is. So
Makes sense.
Finally, 2 days ago, a cat trapper gave us a drop trap. So it's just like the old cardboard box on a stick where they go underneath and you pull a cord, and that's how you trap them. So we've just been feeding in the same location. You know, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's where they're used to. So we're feeding them in that same location with a drop trap over the top. And when they go in, we just yank the cord.
Can you tell me, how do you trap a Donald Trump supporter? I'm sorry, that was a horrible joke. I apologize. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
So Mariah, obviously we've been addressing this, and by the way, this is isn't just a Las Vegas story. This has been become viral. It's also it's basically a national story.
It is.
That has become focused on Las Vegas, but there is kind of a comedic element, given we've been chuckling a little bit throughout this whole thing. But talk to me about.
I've cackled once or twice.
Yeah, but talk to me about what the serious angle of this is, given with respect to animal cruelty and other scenarios and situations where it's not funny, where this could I'm not saying this is something that could lead to other things, but there is an element to this that we need to consider from a very serious standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, there's several things. I mean, at first we didn't know if he would be able to fly. We quickly figured out that he could. Then we were concerned that his flock would not allow him back in. If they think a bird is sick or is attracting predators, they will peck them until they leave. Mm-hmm. And a single bird has absolutely no chance. Luckily, the other birds don't seem to mind the hats. He's still part of a very small flock here. And the last one is predators. Their vision is impaired to where they can't see an attack coming from above. And twice now we've seen hawks here stalking these birds. They've adjusted well enough to where when the flock flies away, they know to follow, but they're the last ones to leave because they can't see what's coming from above.
Right. Well, let me say this, Mariah. I think you should be commended for what you're doing. The fact that you care, and many people should care about this, but the fact that you're actually taking time out of your day to help these pigeons and hopefully also getting to the bottom of who did this. These sick, disgusting, psychotic people that did this. I think they need to be. I don't know if thrown in jail would be right, but certainly fined and put on probation or something. This is animal cruelty.
They definitely need mental health.
Absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, pigeons and Eurasian collared doves, which are ringneck doves, do not have any protection, and they're only considered pets. So.
And Mariah, is it true?
They don't have any protection as far as this being animal cruelty. Every time that I've ever called animal control concerning pigeons, I've been that it's the same thing as stepping on a cockroach. Nobody cares.
Can you explain to me? There are reports out there that there are more out there with different colored hats. Is that true? Have you heard that rumor?
I have. I've heard that from all of the neighbors, and I've spoken to them each separately. And they've all told me the same stories about the guy with the trap who's catching the pigeons. They've all explained the trap exactly the same way, the same apartment, the same guy, and they're all talking about the same colored hat.
Oof.
So I would say that I think there probably were birds out here with green and blue and brown hats. We have not seen them ourselves, so I'm hoping that those were not glued on very well and have already fallen off. But even after we catch calamity, we're going to keep coming out and checking because a new bird showed up yesterday that we had never seen before after the capture of Cluck Norris. So it was the next morning after the capture, there was suddenly a new bird in a red hat, a brand new red hat.
Well, Mariah, thank you for spreading the word. Appreciate what you do. And hopefully you can find this last pigeon. As I mentioned, the stakeout for Calamity Jane is going on right now. She's out there right now. Thank you for your time, Mariah. Thank you for what you're doing and your compassion. And we appreciate you. And thank you for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Mariah.
There you go. Mariah Hillman from Lofty Hopes Pigeon Rescue. She's really saving these pigeons' lives, really, when you think about it. This is a dangerous thing, and we hope we find the bastards that actually did, or bastard, whatever the case may be, who did this.
I think they should have like a bat signal for her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
You know,
maybe, but
you hate to say it, but you guys do realize that when we do find this person, if it is just one guy right in a house somewhere in Vegas that's got a stockpile of these hats that he's putting on pigeons, and he's got cages, and it's not, you do understand he's going to end up being a celebrity. As disgusting as you pointed out, Brian, this is, he's going to end up being like an instant celebrity.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be sitting there, leaning back in his chair, playing with his belly button or something like that. But I really wonder how
There's a picture.
I just don't understand how I understand he traps the pigeons, but how does he get the hat on their head?
He probably drugs them, doesn't he?
I think he
drugs them?
I think he has to drug them.
Yeah.
I think they have to be asleep.
I think we're thinking a little bit too much.
Yeah,
into it.
way too much.
I don't really care. The bottom line is
everybody's thinking that you can't just hold a pigeon and not crush it and put a hat on its head.
I understand, but
it's the next thing's going to be, Brian.
Whether they drug the pigeon or not, we all can agree it's inhumane, it's wrong. A psychopath did this, and we hope they find him.
He probably
leave it at that.
we have to. And he probably knows the law. Okay. He probably knows that pigeons have no protection.
Brian, the last
which
thing,
is kind of scary.
We have to find him because then you know what the next thing's going to be. There's going to be pigeons with Raider hats on them.
It's
and
possible.
Raider helmets.
Or MAGA hats.
We have to find
Isn't that
him.
funny though? How it coincides with the rodeo being in town? How the cowboy hat thing? The whole coinciding there.
In the third hour, I want to break down for an hour the type of glue that is being used to use.
Hey, we
these
did the
hats.
story on the air, Brian. Hey, we just did it. We just did a 15-minute segment with the woman from the actual.
For the record,
Yeah,
though,
I'm ready for it.
For the record, though, I did kill like literally thousands of ants that were in my apartment the other day. So I mean, maybe that's animal cruelty.
I don't think those are protected either.
They're not. Okay. All right. I'm just for the record. I'm just trying to be fair. I'm just trying to be honest.
Clean
That's
your
what I do on the
apartment.
show. No, I had an exterminator
All right,
come in
we're
there.
trying
Yeah,
here.
I did.
But you- it's-
Cockroaches get snuffed out all the time in the
All
valley.
right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to
Happens.
take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take your phone calls, which is 702-257-5396. Again, that number, 257-5396. I know we've had some people that have been waiting patiently on hold. I promise I will get to all of you. And also, I will read a little bit of hate mail that I received today. Yes, that's right. I received it. Somebody comparing me to Donald Trump. I'll read that out loud when we come back. You're listening to The Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
The great one, Mark Levin.
Why are all these people running on the Democrat side for the nomination when there's really not much difference between any of them and as a group among any of them? Am I wrong? They all represent the same hardcore part of the Democrat Party. They're hoping they can break loose through identity. They're hoping they can break loose with one idea or another idea. But all in all, aren't they the same, at least from a policy perspective?
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Only on 101.5 FM, 720 AM.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, and I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4. Be there.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hey, this is Matt Franco, inviting you to experience a different kind of magic, the kind you'll feel when you open your heart to an animal in need. Last year, the Animal Foundation found homes for more than 11,000 lost or abandoned pets. But the shelter is filling up again, and they need your help. Right now, hundreds of furry, loyal, loving shelter pets are looking for their permanent homes. Maybe one of them is for you. Visit the Animal Foundation's new adoption center today and bring home the magic that comes with saving a life. To search for your new pet, visit animalfoundation.com.
Rich is just a really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I could really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
I think right now it's going to go down as a letter from a two-bit dictator to Banana Republic.
Oh yeah, speaking of Banana Republic, 3:30 our time, the official vote on the impeachment will take place. 3:30 our time, obviously 6:30 on the East Coast. We will continue to monitor that and cover everything and anything that is the impeachment and the impeachment inquiry, and of course the actual impeachment, which is going to let's all call for what it is. It's going to take place at 3:30 today. It will pass. He will be impeached, but it will not pass the Senate. So I mentioned earlier today, some of our listeners, they're very gracious, and they send us cheese and crackers, and they appreciate what we do, and others don't like what we do, but they still listen. I appreciate both of them.
They send campaign cheese and crackers.
Yeah,
only
fair,
campaign.
Fair enough. So we have a woman who sent me a message today listening to the show. Her name is Diane Donovan, and don't know who she is, but I guess she listens to the show, obviously. This is the message she sends me today. And remember, she's commenting on, I would imagine, the first hour of the show, not the pigeon comment, but in regards to the Trump impeachment, my opinions on Donald Trump, and some callers that called in and said some idiotic things, and I don't let them rant. I'm not going to give them a platform and rant for 5 or 10 minutes. And if they say something stupid, racist, whatever the case may be, I call them out on it. We move on to the next call because we don't have 1 or 2 callers that call into this show. Maybe other shows have a couple callers an hour, but we do a pretty good job and handle as many calls as we can. So anyway, with that being said, here is what Diane Donovan, I don't know who she is. She's a listener. She sent me a message. Here's what she said. This is not that long ago. She said, Shapiro, you are so incredibly rude. The way you cut people off and speak over them and call them names if they don't agree with you, and then turn around and condemn Trump for saying things like you say. Hypocrisy at its finest. And by the way, Avenatti has been a lawyer who is dirty as the day is long. Okay, so I responded, but I guess I'll just respond on the air.
My days are actually very short.
Okay, first of all, I'm not the president of the United States. I'm not an elected official. So to make an analogy and compare me to an elected official that is the leader of the free world is completely ignorant. You are an ignorant person for making that statement, number one. Number two, obviously by your political beliefs, you are on the right, and you are against Michael Avenatti, as pretty much anyone is on the right, because Michael Avenatti has been going after Donald Trump and Republicans for years. So we've already know that you're a bias and that you are an ignorant human being. Then she goes on to say that you're not even capable of taking constructive criticism. Okay, so I would ask her the same question that I would ask one of the people who called in hour number 1, who talked about Michael Avenatti and said he's got baggage. And then I said, what's your favorite TV show? And he says, well, Bill O'Reilly. And then he admitted that he was wrong. I would ask her the same question.
That's still so funny.
So
man.
We have hosts on
It's all right, Gilbert. It's all right, man.
We have hosts on this station, and some of them have come onto our show. I would mention Mark Levin. He was very gracious coming on our show. And by the way, we had a very good discussion, a very good debate. He said he enjoyed coming on with us. Mark Levin calls people idiots on his show all the time. And he would be the first one to admit that. Okay. So this is the same person that has a problem with me because of maybe I don't like Donald Trump. And let me say something else too. There have been people on Facebook recently over the last few days, Pat Cassell being one of them, okay, who has gone nuts on social media.
And for those who don't know, Pat Cassell fills in for me sometimes when I'm not doing the show.
Yeah, and
as the conservative side of the Vegas.
This is what drives me nuts about people like Diane Donovan, okay? They assume, because I don't like Donald Trump, and most of it has nothing to do with his policies, I just think he's a bad guy. Because I attack a man who constantly cheats on his wives, who has unprotected sex with a porn star months after his wife has a child, who goes after John McCain, a POW, attacks him because he was captured, who goes after Gold Star families, who goes after a woman based on her looks. Because I dislike the man that is Donald Trump, they must assume that I hate all conservatives, that I hate Republicans. They must assume that I'm a liberal or a libtard, as they like to say. They must assume that I'm a snowflake. That is an ignorant way of having a discussion. I don't like Donald Trump because of many of those reasons that I just pointed out. I wanted to make that very clear. So thank you, Diane. If you don't like what we do, go listen to a right-wing conservative talk show host that talks the same way I talk. You just agree with his politics and you don't agree with mine. 257.
Hey, by the way, Diane, you're spot on. Brian and Donald Trump do have a lot in common.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And let me clarify one thing, Brian, about you as well, too. There's an indication in there that you just unsolicitedly call people names, okay? This is what you do, and this is what a lot of people do. A lot of hosts do.
It's also what Trump
does. When you
does.
say something that is idiotic, you're going to be called an idiot. When you do something or say something that is moronic, you're going to be called a moron, okay? When you say things that are ridiculous, you're going to get called out on your ridiculously. Simple as that.
Yeah. All right. 25. I agree. Thank you for backing me on that. 257.
And thank you, Lefty Steve Carlton.
Lefty in the house.
257-5396. Let's go to Ron. Ron, you're next on the Vegas
What's up,
Take.
Ron?
Thanks for calling in. What's going on?
Hey, Ron, don't scream.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Don't scream,
How are
Ron.
you? How are you?
Doing great.
And Happy New Year and Happy Christmas, guys. And I
Thank
hope
you.
you drink a lot of champagne. I just had my 74th birthday on December 1st.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ron.
I got a good idea for you guys.
Yes, sir.
But, yesterday we had this protest Trump all over the United States of America. They had like 1,000 or 2,000 places, they had all this anti-Trump rally stuff. Well, what you guys got to do is start this, we're going to vote for Trump rally. And you be the first radio station in America to start doing it because after all, you guys you never voted for Trump, you never voted for Hillary.
Yeah.
Well, you guys would be the first number
Ron,
one.
I will say this.
Ron, that's actually you've called in probably 83 times. That's actually a really great idea.
Ron, I will say
Isn't that
this.
a great
It is a
idea?
great idea.
Ron, I will say this, and by the way, I do appreciate your phone call, Ron. I will say this. There is a 5% chance that I will vote for Donald Trump, and I will make this promise to you, Ron, okay? If I do decide to make the announcement that I am voting for Donald Trump, we will do what we can to make that happen. 257-5396. Go to Mike. Mike, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good.
Doing real well.
Thanks for waiting. What's on your mind?
I just want to make a comment. What a deviant with the pigeon hats, man. That guy or girl, it's probably some whack job girl that's got 10,000 pigeons at home, but saving the pigeons. But anyway.
Well, what's wrong with that? Why are you going to insult her?
It's probably Jennifer Jason Leigh from Single White Female or someone like that.
No, it's probably the woman from Home Alone 2.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I don't know who either of those two are, but you know what, Brian? The reason, one thing I want, one of my comments, the reason our president won't populate the hearings or the Senate trial with self-incrimination is obvious. The burden of proof is always and always has been upon the accuser. If they're going to accuse our president of something, by golly, they better put it forward.
Okay, so can I ask you this then, Mike? Forget about the president for a second. What about others in his administration that the Democrats want to testify under oath? You think it's okay for him to block them to try to get? They're trying to get as much evidence as possible to make the best decision they can make. And by the way, I'm including Republicans in this because they need to hear it. Mulvaney, John Bolton, you don't think they should testify?
I think no, they had their chance already, Brian. But
what do you mean?
No, they didn't have a chance.
That's
they
not
didn't
true.
testify in the House.
That's not true,
in
Mike.
the impeachment inquiry. They didn't.
Let me ask you a question, Mike.
No, we wanted to bring witnesses. They wouldn't let us.
Oh, no
not
way.
True. That's
no
not
way.
True. All right.
Not even
Mike.
close.
Mike,
not even the same neighborhood.
Mike, we appreciate the phone call, but let me,
Wait, I got another thing to say.
Okay. I can't wait to hear it. Go ahead.
Bill Clinton didn't just get a blowjob in the White House. He had full-blown sex with that girl day after, every day or every other day. It wasn't just.
Thank you for clearing that, Mike. Thank you for.
We didn't know that at all. We didn't know about the details.
I can tell you.
I'm glad.
It's only been
I'm glad
22 years.
that you told us
Mike,
that. It was nice and graphic. I really enjoyed it.
Mike,
thank you very much.
Mike, based on the phone call that we just had, I could almost guarantee that you've never had that type of situation happen to you unless you paid for it. 257-5396. Let's go to Brady. Brady, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Brady?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen, and BB Shapiro. How are you today?
BB.
BB.
No one's
Netanyahu Shapiro?
Oh, Buffoon Brian.
Oh, come on.
Buffoon Brian.
Well, you've really stared off this phone call very well, Brady.
Yeah, those
you've
are really good
started off very
initials.
well.
I also, are you guys, are you familiar with Squab? Have you ever had that?
Are you familiar with a good caller, somebody who can call into a show and make an
When you're
excellent
talking
point?
about pigeons, it's pigeon meat. You've never had squab. It's a delicacy.
Yeah,
no, there is. Yeah, he's right. Brady's right. There is a delicacy with pigeon with respect to the culinary.
So, Brady, I will not go out on a date with you, and I will not have pigeon meat with you if that's what you were going to ask.
So where do I send my squab and the MAGA hat wearing pigeons to?
You can send that the same way we send most of your phone calls, and that's up your ass. What do you think about that, Brady?
I don't know. You better send it to your hooker. That's reason.
Yeah. Brady, you shouldn't talk about your wife like that. All right. So here's what we're going to do.
Why does Brady got to bring in Shaft's personal life into this? Why does he have to do that?
So Brady's
dating life.
doing it.
Hey, Brady, I have to admit that was a really good call.
This was a great call.
Yeah, outstanding call.
Top notch all
Thank
around.
you, Brady.
So here's what we're going to do, guys. We got to take a break, but when we come back, I can promise you this is going to be a lot of fun. We all know this guy, right, from Saturday Night Live. We all know him from, let me ask you this.
Night at the
Kattan.
Roxbury.
Night at the Roxbury is certainly one of the big ones, one of my favorites. But this guy's been around for a long time. He actually broke his neck. This is a crazy story. He broke his neck not that long ago. He's actually performing.
He was doing a skit for the Golden Girls in 2001.
Ooh, that's dedication.
He actually is headlining at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. So the man known as Chris Kattan. Yes, I can't wait. I've never interviewed this guy before, so
I will not call him Mango. I will not do it.
No, please don't do that. But this is going to be a lot of fun, guys. Chris Kattan is coming up next on the show. Really looking forward to talking to him. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We got C-Win in studio. We got this studio is just full of people,
Load
right?
it up.
It's just full of people. Campaign. I am Mr. Shapiro. He is JD Sharp. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Kilmeade, Hannity, Levin, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
A solemn day on Capitol Hill as the House holds its final debate before a scheduled vote this evening on whether President Trump will be impeached. Republican Carol Miller.
If Congress hadn't spent the last year stuck in a divisive, ugly, partisan impeachment debacle, think of what we could have done. The lives that could have been saved, the communities that could have been improved, the crisis on our southern border ended, and the positive work that we should do for our country.
Correspondent Linda Kenyon on Capitol Hill.
As Speaker of the House, I solemnly and sadly open the debate on the impeachment of the President of the United States.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi speaking on the House floor.
It is tragic that the President's reckless actions make impeachment necessary. He gave us no choice.
The House is addressing the President's actions through 2 articles of impeachment, abuse of power, and obstruction of Congress.
I'm Mike Moss. Democrat Donna Shalala argues the House is being asked to make sure the U.S. democracy is defended.
As we labor to pass on to future generations many of the great hallmarks of our society, we must also work with active stewardship and vigilance to pass on a vibrant and functional democracy.
Republican Jackie Walorski defines impeachment as pure partisanship.
This impeachment obsession is not about accountability. It's not about justice. It's not even about the Constitution. It's about pure partisan politics at its worst. And you're watching it right here. And the American people see right through this today.
A New York State judge has dismissed a 16-count indictment against President Trump's former campaign chairman Paul Manafort on double jeopardy grounds. He's currently serving prison for financial crimes stemming from the Russia probe. On Wall Street, the Dow up 27. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Cox Business. An accident on the 95 northbound north of Auto Show Drive. Vehicles remain off to the right. On the surface streets, a crash Desert Inn at Valley View, and an accident with injury sustained Buffalo at Mountain's Edge Parkway. Police and fire are with the scene. Expect slowing. Another injury wreck Spring Mountain eastbound at the I-15. Cox Business has reliable internet and voice solutions. Ask how you can get up to a $200 Cox Business Visa prepaid card when you switch. Call 1-800-297-2610 today. Card issued by MetaBank, member FDIC. Terms and expiration apply. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is the Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you. MediShare, healthcare you can believe in.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Also is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pod sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Cox Business has fast, reliable internet and voice solutions. Call today and ask how you can get up to a $200 Cox Business Visa prepaid card when you switch. Call 1-800-297-2610. Card issued by MetaBank. Member FDIC. Terms and expiration apply.
Hey, Chuck, first of all, can you tell us what it means to be a direct lender?
You ever see those ads on TV for payday loans from Money Mutual and other companies? You know, they had Montel Williams as their spokesperson.
Oh, I've seen them all the time.
Well, they're what's called a lead generator. Check the disclaimer at the bottom of their website. It'll clearly say, this is not a lender. When you see this, it means they just gather your information and sell it.
Oh, so Dollar Loan Center is a direct lender, and you lend your money.
Yep, literally my money. You deal directly with us and only us. Just be careful out there and read the fine print before you give up your data.
That was Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center, where you can get a signature installment loan up to $5,000 in just minutes. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDON.
Each year when the holidays hit, something comes over me like, I ought to give. Well, it's the holidays, and I got that feeling now. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress. At our Best Mattress holiday sale, my gift to you is to sleep, perchance to dream. That's a little Shakespeare for you, kids. Nice, huh? Plus, I'll throw in a $300 gift with a purchase of any Tempur-Pedic mattress and get 72 months no-interest financing and free delivery. Best Mattress. Sleep easy, friends.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face than cooking up a big meal for the whole family and lots of friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in our country who struggle with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids. But they can't do it without your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Hill with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Children love to play, but did you know play is important for healthy brain development? Play helps children learn language, math, and social skills, and lowers stress. This is good for kids and their parents. The next time your child wants to play with you, say yes. It's one of the best parts of being a parent. For more information on child development, visit healthychildren.org or talk with your pediatrician.
I can't believe you found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What, did he balance on that big chair? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. Seawin joining us in studio as well. And by the way, coming up here at the bottom of the hour, there are new laws that apparently are going to be put into place. Well, they're being proposed in Wisconsin. And it is if you harass an official, a high school referee, a middle school referee, it could be soccer, it could be basketball, what have you. If you harass an official, you could get hit with a jail time or up to a $10,000 fine under this new proposed Wisconsin bill. And the guy that's going to be joining us at the bottom of the hour is Brian Barlow. He runs the website stoprefabuse.com. So this is an interesting bill. And as a longtime 20-year high school basketball official myself, I agree with this bill, and I have a lot of opinions on it. So we will get to Brian coming up at the bottom of the hour. And just here in a few minutes, we'll be joined by former SNL actor and headlining comedian. He's going to be at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. Chris Kattan, he's going to be joining us here in just a couple minutes as well. We've been going over everything that has taken place today so far as this impeachment is concerned. And yes, President Donald Trump is going to be impeached. It's going to be happening this afternoon. The final vote will take place at 3:30 our time. So you got a lot of politicians that are going to be hanging out there in the chambers for a very long time. That's 6:30 on the East Coast. So they are there all day.
And that's tentative time, of course. This is not something that's going to go down exactly at 3:30. So we'll find out.
It is certainly a long day. That is for sure for them. But I think rightfully so. There's no question about it. He's going to be impeached, but it will not pass through the Senate. Also, from a sports perspective,
that's not a definite, by the way. That's not 100%, Brian.
I would say I would be willing to bet anybody.
Let's go with the odds. What are the odds?
It looks very likely, but it's not by any stretch.
I want to go minus 16 million.
Okay,
so is it Leicester City with the Premier League?
So for people who have no idea what that means, it means you have to risk $16 million to win $100. That's what JD is saying.
Exactly what that means.
Yes. Listen, the reason why I say there's no chance of that happening is because there's no chance that some of these Republicans actually have a backbone and are going to do the right thing. That is the reason why I say that. Also, from a sports perspective,
and the situation has been muddied enough with the way the impeachment, how everything's been handled, and the fact that you can kind of discern that, maybe it was inappropriate, but it wasn't necessarily impeachable.
Well, that's up for debate. I don't know if I would technically agree with that, but certainly my problem is not with that argument you just made. My problem is with the Republicans out there that are not agreeing at the very least that what he did was inappropriate, was beneath the presidency, and it was wrong. But I want to move on here real quickly. We have a pretty cool sports week here in Las Vegas. Now, UNLV basketball has not played a home game in a long time. The reason for that has to do with the National Finals rodeo. I would imagine if you walk into the Thomas and Mack Center tonight, it's going to smell like manure. It's not going to smell very good. It's going to smell like fertilizer. It's because there's been a lot of horses and different animals hanging around there. But UNLV is back in action tonight at the Thomas and Mack Center. They're playing against not a very good Pacific team. UNLV is favored by 4 points. If you want to talk about, if I said to Jerry Tarkanian,
they're favored by 4 points.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If I said to Jerry Tarkanian, the late great Jerry Tarkanian, who he's the one who is responsible for a national championship, of course, and the great players that he brought in. But that was the true Runnin' Rebels. That's where we got the Runnin' Rebels. If I told him that the over-under on a UNLV basketball game was 122, he would be rolling over in his grave right now. That is the total on the game tonight. They're saying that the game could be in the 50s. That is just so gross. I want to vomit.
Well,
it's so disgusting.
This year, it's the UNLV sauntering rebels.
I mean,
and by the way, they'd only be 4-point favorites against a bottom of the tier West Coast Conference team, right? Coming into Thomas and Mack.
If you'd have told Tark that UNLV is going to be favored by 4 against the Pacific team without Michael Olowokandi,
exactly right,
he would be shocked.
Was Christian Okoye, didn't he go to Pacific too? The running back? I think he did.
Make no mistake about it. Pacific has a pretty good wins and loss record, but I think their best win was against UC Irvine. They don't have any signature wins. They're not a good basketball team. By the way, if memory serves me right, Justin Hawkins, former Rebel, is on the coaching staff there, so it'd be cool to see him in town. But the point
he was on our show last year.
Yeah, he has. He's a good dude. The point I'm trying to make is this. Okay, UNLV basketball, they're just not very good. TJ Otzelberger, the team he has put together, and some of it not his fault. I'm not going to put all the responsibility on him. It is year one. But when you are the highest paid coach in the Mountain West Conference and the bookies are saying that you are going to struggle to beat a very bad Pacific team at home at the Thomas and Mack Center, something is not right. If this was the Lon Kruger days, they'd be favored absolutely by double digits. The total wouldn't be 122. This is a concern. There is a chance that they can lose this game tonight.
Will you be going to watch the UNLV strolling rebels play Pacific, Brian?
Absolutely not.
Yes, and by the way, that leads into it right here, Brian. Okay, UNLV taking on Pacific on the same night. There happens to be a couple other college basketball teams in town.
Kentucky is playing Utah. Utah is a better team than people make them out to be. But Kentucky, obviously a very good national ranked team and the highest paid coach. I just said the highest paid coach in the Mountain West. Well, guess what? In town tonight, the highest paid coach in the country, John Calipari's in town.
And he's worth every penny.
Yeah,
and is he the highest coach state employee in the country?
I believe
state employee.
What is it, just under $10 million a year?
I think it's actually Dabo Swinney.
Is it really
I
Dabo?
think Dabo's a little shade over 10.
I was thinking maybe even Nick Saban too, right?
Yeah, Saban's up there too, and then Kirk Ferentz obviously is up there too.
So Kentucky's in town, and then you got North Carolina. North Carolina and Ohio State are going to be in town in a few days. Kentucky is staying in town because they've got some more games to play, and this is at T-Mobile Arena. So if you've never been to T-Mobile Arena before, if you haven't caught a Knights game, catch some great college basketball. The tickets are very, very affordable. I think you can get tickets for like $20. Watch one of the best teams in the country in action tonight on national television. So that'll be tonight. I am choosing to go that game tonight over a UNLV Pacific game.
Shocker.
Which, listen, I don't take any joy in bashing UNLV. I don't take joy in critiquing them. Let's just call this for what it is, okay? UNLV and Pacific are two bad basketball teams, not two average teams. Two bad teams that will not be in postseason play. They just will not, okay? And I don't even think UNLV is a good enough team to be invited to the CBI this year. They're just not. And I choose, and now listen, if Kentucky wasn't playing tonight, if the Knights weren't playing and there was no other sports, I would absolutely go to, because it's still college basketball. I try to go to as many UNLV basketball games as I can, but come on, guys. This is not an exciting brand of basketball. Make no mistake about it. I mean, you guys have seen them play this year.
Over under the student section this year, 15. Or tonight, 15.
Oh, tonight?
Tonight, 15.
I'm going to go 20. I would take the over on that.
I would take the over on that.
Because they
15.
haven't played at home in a
You
while.
put it too low, JD.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that Pacific travels well. I'd say the over-under on how many Pacific fans actually travel, I'm going to say 6. I'm going to think there are a few parents that are going to show up and make the case.
Of course.
Yeah, a few. Well, I don't know.
Parents there.
Maybe a
No, the
few.
parents will definitely be there.
Maybe a few.
I mean, there were parents from IPFW.
Well, they're coming to
when they
Vegas.
played.
Everybody has to
They'll
understand.
definitely come
Everybody
to
has to
Pacific.
understand they're coming to Vegas.
All right, so the guy we have with us
Valid
on
point,
the guy we have with us on the line right now. God, this guy. I grew up watching this guy on Saturday Night Live. Of course, I say of course because Night at the Roxbury is one of my favorites. Very, very funny movie. He is headlining at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club at the Linq Promenade. We remember this song, right? Hadaway. How do you forget this song?
That's right.
I feel like bobbing my head right now. We love this guy. Chris Kattan joining us right now on the line. Chris, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
You're welcome. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
great.
So do you ever get sick of that song, Chris? Be honest.
Yes.
Fair enough. I think that's an honest answer. I appreciate that. So, Chris, you've spent some time here in Las Vegas. You performed here before, right? What do you think about the city of Las Vegas and what it has become over the years?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. You know, I haven't gambled much there, so I haven't really lost a lot of money, so I can't complain about that. But I think it's a terrific city. I love it there.
So as you know, Chris, Jimmy Kimmel grew up here in Las Vegas, and this is a fairly new comedy club that you're going to be performing in. I would imagine you know Jimmy Kimmel. I would imagine you guys, I don't know what type of relationship you guys have, but talk to me a little bit about, Jimmy Kimmel opening a club here in Las Vegas. It's pretty exciting, and the fact that you're going to be performing there this week.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been there before. He's a friend of mine, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being there. I don't know. When did it open? It opened like last year.
Yeah, it was about a year ago. Yep, it was about a year ago,
right?
and Jimmy Kimmel was there. I went there opening week. Jeff Ross performed. There were some great comedians that were there. And I think the fact that Jimmy spent so much time here in Las Vegas and, of course, went to UNLV, it's a special situation for him, of course, to open his own comedy club. It's really nice in there. So I'm really looking forward to checking you out there. I'll actually be seeing you tomorrow night. So for people that have never seen your stand-up before, I've certainly seen videos of you performing, and you're a brilliant comedian. But talk to me a little bit about your act. And do you get into politics at all? Do you talk about stuff going on in the world, or do you stay away from stuff like that?
No, I tend to stay away from that stuff and just do more self-deprecating jokes and more stuff about SNL and characters and stuff like that. But no, I steer away from politics because that's always ever changing.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a little sensitive time.
Yeah, it is. You could say that. It definitely is. So, like in high school, what was Chris Kattan like? I mean, were you like the class clown in high school? Were you making fun of her, making jokes and making people laugh? Was it because I talked to a lot of comedians? They say that they just get a joy out of making other people laugh and just being the entertainer. Were you that kid growing up?
I was. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was the class clown. Thank God. I don't know if I wasn't, I'd be probably pretty bent out of shape as a high schooler. But yeah, no, I was. I was kind of an underdog, and like most comedians, I think. Yeah, no, I enjoyed high school. I grew up in a place called Bainbridge Island High School up in Seattle, or near Seattle, in the Puget Sound. But yeah, I was definitely the class clown. What about you?
I would say I was the insulter. I was the insulter in chief. I enjoyed insulting everybody and just mocking everybody, maybe because of my own insecurities. I would say that's the kind of person I was in high school. I was this geeky kid that played golf and tennis. I didn't play the manly sports. That's who I was. But then again, I was never on Saturday Night Live, and I was never a celebrity like you. So I think your career has turned out a little better than mine. But and by the way, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Chris Kattan. He is headlining at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. We're going to be giving away a pair of tickets here in just a little bit. Chris, what do you think was your big break growing up? Because obviously you get this SNL gig and your career just skyrockets, right? And of course, Night at the Roxbury, was a huge movie. But, people that I talk to, whether they're in the film industry or comedians, any type of celebrity that's so good at what they do, they had that one big break. What would you pinpoint that was your one big break that got you out there?
I guess it was SNL. I mean, that was probably my big break, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would think, I saw it in the Groundlings. That's where I got my training, the Groundlings improv group in LA. So that's where I got trained, and I was there with Will, and so I think the big break was SNL, really. I was on a show called News Radio. I had a line on that show, but that wasn't really a big break, or a show called Grace Under Fire, but I don't think that was a big break. But I would say SNL was probably the big break for sure.
What was the first time that you can recall that, people were recognizing you in public? How did you react to that? Like being recognized as a celebrity in public, was that weird for you, or did you get used to it over the course of time?
I did get used to it. It was wild. It was in New York, when they started recognizing me by my characters, they're yelling, hey, Kattan, and pop your head and, do the mango and all that crap. So, it was pretty wild. Just the power of the media was pretty surreal,
No question. Yeah, no question. I have to ask you about this. I know you've been asked about this probably a gazillion times, but it's such a bizarre situation where, you're sitting in a chair on Saturday Night Live and you've complained about it, and nobody did anything about it, and then all of a sudden you break your neck, which is horrible during a skit. I mean, what do you remember about that situation? And when you sit on chairs now, are you always checking out the chair? I know it's not.
It was. No, I'm not always. Yeah, that's every time I sit on the chair, I'm always making sure I don't break my neck. That would be terrible.
Yeah, that'd be terrible chair PTSD.
No, it was an accident, and it happened years ago, but it did happen, on the show on SNL, and it was live.
God,
So,
that is
but no,
crazy.
I see comfortably now. It's not like I'm on a flight and I'm like, oh my God, this chair.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chris, you have an extensive resume when it comes to your filmography. I'm partial to Undercover Brother back in
too.
early 2000s with you
That
and
was
Eddie Griffin. But I have to ask, I mean, people that you worked with, obviously people are going to connect you with Will Ferrell, obviously with Night of Roxbury, and of course Eddie with that movie. Who were the people that you most enjoyed working with in the film industry and on projects throughout the years?
Oh, I mean, I loved working with Chappelle on Undercover Brother, and I did a small movie called Tanner Hall with Brie Larson. I thought that was really fun with Rooney Mara and Amy Sedaris play my wife. And there's a slew. I mean, there's a lot of shit, but those in particular, I think, were really fun. Of course.
Yeah, Brie Larson, of course. Yeah, Brie Larson, has just absolutely, skyrocketed as well too. It has to be, very satisfying for you to see what she's been able to do with her career.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, she's great. She's a real talent.
Chris,
she won an Oscar, so.
Have you
Sorry, what was that?
have you thought of directing or doing anything like that, like your own movies, like getting behind the camera?
Yeah, well, I have I'm starting to get into producing and writing. Of course, I'm writing all the time. But yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I haven't. I'm still doing stand up and doing stuff in front of the camera right now. But I'm not that. I think that'd be great. A lot of fun. I enjoy doing that very much. I'd have a great time doing that.
Chris, growing up, was there one comedian that you modeled yourself after? For me, growing up, I used to listen to Howard Stern on the radio, and for me, that's why I got into radio. For you, was there that one comedian, or maybe there's a few that you said, if not for him or her, I'm not sure I'd be doing this for a living?
Well, I think Eddie Murphy was my hero. I mean, I really loved watching Eddie Murphy. He's the reason why I wanted to be on SNL. When he did that Black History Month sketch, and he said, "So I made me want to get on SNL."
Sure.
I thought that was pretty tremendous, And I think Mike Myers, his characters, I think, and Dana Carvey too. A mix of those three.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, of course, being alum of SNL, and you brought this up as far as the politics angle of it. But I gotta believe, Chris, there's got to be some secret, desire in you to be able to be on the cast maybe right now in 2019, given that political climate that we're in right now, where you've got Donald Trump as president of the United States, and how much intrigue that brings not only to just the to media in America, but to that show specifically, Saturday Night Live, and dealing with the Trump administration.
Yeah. Well, what was the question?
Yeah, it has to be. Do you secret? Here's the question.
It was kind of a question turned into a statement.
Well, I can tell him what the question. Here's the question. Do you secretly wish that you were still on Saturday Night Live at this time in 2019, where you could actually address what is going on from a political standpoint?
Wait, Chris, before you answer the question,
about politics, though.
Chris, before you answer the question, I just want to say our co-host Chris Wynn, he is the most long-winded radio host ever.
Well, I ask long questions. Yes, I do.
It's like a 3-minute question.
Yeah, it takes him 75 words to ask a 7-word question.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll break it down. Do you wish, Chris, that you were on SNL now in 2019, given Trump as president?
I would love to be on, but not. No, I'm fine not being on, but not because of the president.
Yeah,
that's not why I would want to be on. No, because the cast is good. That's why I would want to be on. But
Nice.
I'm fine not being on.
Yeah. Well, Chris, listen, man, I really do appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. I am really looking forward to seeing your show tomorrow night. I've never seen your stand-up in person. I cannot wait to see it tomorrow night. And no better place, by the way, than the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. I think you're really going to love it out there.
I'm looking forward to it.
But before I let you go, I just got to ask, you mentioned you don't really gamble. Do you have any favorite hangouts that you like to go to in Las Vegas so people can stalk you over the course? Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. That's a hard one. I like the Hard Rock, but we're not promoting that.
No, we're not. We're promoting the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. That is true. Well, Chris, hey, listen, man, you're a legend.
Very wise.
You're a legend in this business, my friend, and we really do appreciate.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say that.
No problem, and we really do appreciate you taking some time to join us. Look forward to your show tomorrow night. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. There you go.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
That is Chris Kattan. By the way, I think my favorite point in that interview was when Chris had one of his long-winded questions.
I
and
had
he's
to,
like,
I had to go through an explanation of why I make that roundabout.
Are we giving away tickets?
Yes, we're going to do that right now. Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
Don't say number 5.
No. We're going to do caller number 10. You are going to win a pair of tickets to see Chris Kattan. I think you'll have an opportunity to see them either Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Caller number 10 right now, you get to see Chris Kattan, stand-up comic, SNL, Night at the Roxbury, so many great movies.
Undercover Brother.
That's right. That's
you
a
always
great.
keep missing that. Why?
Yeah, that's true.
I need you to watch that.
I do.
Do you think that's racist, campaign?
It's just like they keep talking about the same one.
Is it a little racist?
Before he answers that question, let me just give out the number. Caller number 10 right now, 702-257-5396. You are going to score yourself a pair of tickets to see Chris Kattan at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club right here in Las Vegas this week. Again, caller number 10 right now, 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Chris is a very, very funny guy.
Very funny.
So caller number 10 right now.
Undercover Brother.
Yes.
He was very
and I
funny.
forgot that Dave Chappelle was in that movie. I was thinking, obviously,
no,
of
but
Eddie
it was
Griffin.
like one of the greatest scenes ever when he was dancing.
I'm partial to Mango. I'm partial to SNL when Will Ferrell's going to take. He's the hip store owner, and I'm taking we're going to Milan. I think that's really
Let me
funny.
ask you seriously: have you ever watched Undercover Brother? Being serious.
I actually have not watched.
That's what I'm going to say. So I don't want you to know. I want you to watch it, then come back and tell me.
But from what I have watched, that's what I'm partial to.
By the way, you also have a chance to, if you look at the bald, pasty white boy, he will be at the show tomorrow night as well. That is me. Chris, you will be joining us tomorrow night at the show, as well as our producer, Jason
So that's
Stein.
why I thought you were talking about me there when you were giving a description.
Hold on a minute. See, now it's racist. What about me?
You didn't say you wanted to go see the show.
Why wouldn't I want to go?
Well, you didn't ask. You have to ask.
Why
Chris
would I have
asked
to
me.
ask?
It's the star of Undercover Brother. Why wouldn't Campaign want to show up for that?
Campaign, would you like to see the show with us tomorrow night?
No, I have other things to do.
Oh, see, exactly.
No, I'm going to
exactly.
go. I'm going to go.
It's the principle of not asking him, though.
Yeah,
It's the principalities.
He's not important enough, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Campaign. You are important enough. You're a big part of the show, and you are absolutely invited to check out Chris Kattan with us tomorrow if you would like to go. But you don't. But you don't get a +1. Because you don't get a +1. Is that okay? Are you all right with that?
I don't get a +1?
No, you don't get a +1.
Are
just
you bringing somebody?
No. Well, I'm bringing Chris. He's a part of the show.
And Jason, right?
Yeah, but that's not my +1.
Yeah,
I'm not bringing a female.
Let's establish something. I'm not going with Brian.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm not going to go
He's
anywhere.
not taking me.
I'm not going anywhere.
I happen to be going to the actual same show as Brian. I just wanted to establish that here.
I understand that.
Shap likes to do that every once in a while.
So we're going to be sitting at a table.
Can I just say this?
There's going to be 5 dudes sitting at a table?
It's pretty clearly a lefty and buffoon Brian date.
Listen, if you put a wig on Chris, you put a dress on him, he's that's all I'm saying. You never know. All right, you never know.
I am not going with 5 guys. It's not a sausage.
Are you
party.
homophobic? What's your problem?
Because I'm
You're
out here.
homophobic. No, you're homophobic.
No, I'm not.
You have a problem.
You don't roll.
Trust me,
Campaign. You don't roll with your boys out. You don't go out and about with your guy, with your male friends.
All right, guys, we got to take a break.
You ever see Wild Hogs?
I got to take a break. My thanks to Chris Kattan. Boy, it's amazing when we give something up for free.
I'll go tomorrow as long as we
that
can
call
all
it.
color coordinate.
But
Take a break.
all right, here's what we're going to do. When we come back, a new law that is being proposed in Wisconsin. If you harass an official or a referee, you could go to jail. We're going to talk about coming up next with our very special guest, Brian Barlow with StopRefAbuse.com. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM 720 AM KDWN. Also, check us out streaming on YouTube at The Vegas Take page and thevegastake.com. Take a quick break. Be back right after this.
Special report House impeachment debate. Utah Republican Chris Stewart says Democrats are looking to impeach President Trump because they don't like him.
This vote, this day, has nothing to do with Ukraine. It has nothing to do with abuse of power. It has nothing to do with obstruction of Congress. This vote, this day, is about one thing and one thing only. They hate this president.
Democrat Scott Peters.
Republicans have not sought the truth. They have sought to avoid the truth. They have demeaned and insulted witnesses, patriots, warriors, career diplomats who have provided evidence against the president. No House Republican has joined us to demand the documents and witnesses that President Trump has refused to produce.
The House will vote on 2 articles of impeachment alleging abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. A vote expected tonight. Democrats claim to have enough support to impeach. I'm Mike Moss.
Do you have pain? Do you want natural relief?
Tune in to Natural Pain Relief and Wellness with Dr. Devin Luzad's Spinal Care of Nevada, Sundays 10:30 a.m. on 101.5 FM, 7:20 a.m. KDON.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is paid for by Dr. Patient Unity. Slowing for the crash on the 95 southbound at Rancho Drive. The vehicle's going to be at the on-ramp. And also an accident on Desert Inn Road at Valley View. A hit-and-run accident investigation underway on Lamb, south of Lake Mead Boulevard. Watch for police presence in the area. And an injury crash on Buffalo at Mountains Edge Parkway. Expect some slowing, possible lane restrictions. Surprise medical bills are bankrupting Americans, but insurers refuse to pay their fair share. Doctors support removing patients from billing disputes. Tell Congress to stand with doctors and patients, paid for by Dr. Patient Unity. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777 or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. Please tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and listen to us deliver timely, balanced truths about our market right here in Southern Nevada. You know, there's nothing that I enjoy more than educating our listeners about real estate, except maybe a well-prepared Reuben sandwich where the corned beef is really lean. Sorry, I digress. But please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM 720 AM KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. Their enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program for tax debt assistance. The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your assets from IRS collections. But don't delay, because the IRS is tacking on interest and hefty penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer,
a million questions flood your mind.
how can this be happening? Am I going to be able to work?
What's a subtype?
What do I do now? We know.
We went through it too.
But once you start to understand your options, You can partner with your doctor.
And find ways to face MBC on your own terms.
visit findyourmbcvoice.com and learn how to speak up and have a more informed conversation with your doctor. Some questions have answers.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com to find some of yours.
And now a message from the traffic cone you ran over on Blue Diamond last week.
Okay, ow, that hurt. I know, you're in a hurry, but I could have been killed. Look, I have a wife and a baby cone on the way. I'm out there risking it all. And for what? I'll tell you, Southern Nevada's economic future. I'm helping the I-11 get built and the Centennial Bowl. So show a cone a little love.
Love the cone. For road construction details, visit seeingorangenv.com or call 702-928-CONE.
Hi, this is Shelly, and I am a 4-time cancer survivor. 50% of men and 30% of women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Go to cancer.org for cancer facts and information, 1-800-227-2345 for any cancer information you might need.
You let him try violin because you love him.
And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. K-Dawn.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on Hump Day, which is Wednesday. See you in studio as well. Campaign broadcasting live on YouTube. And, I talk about this on the show at times. I get frustrated with parents that act like complete buffoons at games. I have been a basketball official at the high school level for 20 years, middle school, high school, you name it, and I enjoy it. But one of the difficult parts of being an official is having to not only deal with coaches and the players on the floor, but usually it's parents and the people that are in the stands. Well, guess what? If you harass a referee now, you could get hit with jail time or up to a $10,000 fine. It is a new proposal in a Wisconsin bill, and I am actually supporting it because I think people will think twice before they do this to officials. Look, there have been officials that have been killed. There was one soccer official in Arizona years back that was killed by a fan. I mean, things are getting really bad now. And joining us on the line, what better person to talk about this? His name is Brian Barlow. He's been on our show before. He runs a website that is called StopRefAbuse.com. And in fact, he has also paid people $100, up to $100, for sending him videos of parents that act like buffoons at games. So we want to talk to Brian about this. Brian, thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm super good. Hey, listen, we don't call these people buffoons that you're describing on the offside page on Facebook. We call them cheeseburgers. They are called cheeseburgers. That is their proper entitled name. They are cheeseburgers. They are the trash junk food of youth sports.
Hey, thank you for verifying that.
You've already
is that a Wisconsin thing? Is that a Midwest thing? Because I'm a Michigan guy.
No, it's not. So when I started the offside page, I couldn't call them what I really want to call them. So I classified. so I named them cheeseburgers, and it stuck. And why I named cheeseburgers? Because they're usually the people that are sitting on the sideline in the shade. They usually have a muscle shirt on or some kind of shirt that doesn't fit. It doesn't look like they've ran a 100-yard dash in the past decade, and they're the ones that are causing the stink. So we call them cheeseburgers.
All right. So in this interview, we will call them cheeseburgers, even though one of my favorite words that I use on a daily basis is buffoon, but that's okay. We will call them cheeseburgers.
You are attacking Brian's on-air vernacular.
That's okay.
He doesn't know how to respond.
All right. So, Brian, let's get down to business here. I know that you have you're a soccer official, and you have the background as well as I do. What do you make of this new bill? I actually support it, but here is my issue with it. Please define what harassment is, because you suck. If somebody, in a crowd in a middle school or high school game, you suck, you're horrible. I don't think I would want to give that person a $10,000 fine or put them in jail. Now, if they swear at an official, if they threaten an official, that is a different ballgame. So can you please define what this harassment is?
I would say to you, why not? Why can't we say to the adult, and I use that word loosely, why can't we tell the adult to act like an adult, and if he doesn't, he gets fined? So what I'm saying is, where is the bar? I'm saying it is a child's game. It is youth sports, even at the high school level. Why do I need to hear your opinion? No one's asked for it. You're not an expert. You are simply a spectator. So my line is, I don't want anyone to say anything. Now, do I think that's unrealistic? I absolutely think it's unrealistic. I'm not after the people that are saying you suck, come on, ref, or ref, you're blind. But what I am saying is, we've let it go so far. We've given so much rope to these people that now we have to reel it back in. We have to be so dramatic and so over the top with it that maybe that is too much. And maybe a $10,000 fine to a couple of people, maybe we'll send a statement to everyone to shut the hell up.
Well, let me play devil's advocate a little bit here. Now, look, we've all grown up in the sports landscape that is youth sports in America, whether we played it or we've been parents of kids who actually play it. There is a certain practical reality out there, right, that we have to address when it comes to things being said on the sidelines and talking about, I guess I'm making a generalization both in high school sports as opposed to youth sports as well too, that, parents are going to be emotional, right? Parents are going to say things out there. And I don't necessarily know if
they're going to be fired up.
Yeah, there's going to
be
people are going to get
passion.
fired up. I mean, going through the process of what is being proposed here of litigating that, right? And stamping out, you know what? You're going to get fined $1,000 for saying this, and this, as opposed to, a situation that is really serious, right, Brian, where there are actually officials that are getting physically harmed or
followed
killed, right?
to their car,
yeah,
right?
Or their phone number or their address, doxed on the internet or getting hate mail and stuff like that. There has to be. I know what you're saying. There has to be.
Yeah, there has to be some type of exercising restraint,
a line to cross.
Yeah. And kind of maybe like a level or like, a tier system as far as, for lack of a better way to describe it, for actual penalties and what actually takes place on the field.
Yeah. Brian, go ahead, respond to that.
Well, first off, what other job is out there that allows people to treat other people like they are scum of the earth? I mean, we can say fast food worker, we can say gate agent at the airport to an airline. But what if right now, guys, I said, you know what? I don't like the topic you're talking about. I think you guys are terrible, and I hate the fact that you even showed up to work today.
I'd call you a cheeseburger.
I hate this phone call.
I'd call you a cheeseburger, yeah.
Right.
I would actually buy you a cheeseburger and send it to you.
But so what I'm saying is, I think people, and I think maybe even the legislative process and leaderships and board members are starting to realize we have to be overly dramatic to settle this down. We're losing referees at an alarming rate. Referee tension is the lowest it's ever been. 80% of the first-year referees never return for the second year. At some point, if you're a logical person, at some point you go, okay, this is my kid's game, and I want them to have an official so it's not recess. Maybe me and my other adult friends should act like an adult. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying to people is when you go to the game, let it be their game, let it be their moment, let it be their time. You sit down, be a spectator because that's what you chose. You didn't choose coach, you didn't choose referee, you didn't choose player, you didn't choose volunteer, you didn't choose board member, you chose spectator. So guess what? Be a spectator.
Well said. No, so I have a question. What age group does this apply to? Because I think that if you're talking 6 to 9 year olds, yeah, I mean, if someone's going to freak out at a 6 to 9 year old game and maybe swear at the official or swear at a player, that makes sense to me. But if it's a high school type of situation, like Chris said, there's a lot of passion involved in these games, especially when you've got rivalry games, competing teams. I mean, in some cases, there's actually money wagered on these games, which is it's rare, but it does happen. So what age do you think that this is? That this is necessary for? Because I don't believe that it's necessary for high school.
And you're right. You don't want to take the passion out. I get that. But what I am asking people to understand is most of these officials are, hard-working members of society that operate and contribute to and have families. I mean, I've been to Detroit where, tell Kristen Benowitz, whose husband went out to go ref a soccer game on a Sunday afternoon, got hit so hard for getting a red card that he never came home. He died. He is an official who died doing what he loved doing because of a call. So what I'm saying is, listen, the hardest games to manage are the games where the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds are playing.
I agree.
Okay, those are the games I'm mostly talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Yeah. Listen, Brian, I have a background as well. I can tell you some of the most difficult games that I've had to officiate are kids under 10 years old. And it's not because of the kids. It's not usually even because of the coaches. It's because of the parents. It's because of the idiots that are out, or as you like to call them, cheeseburgers that are out there.
Thank you.
That are verbally assaulting. Listen, I've been called some of the worst names in the book when I've been out there. I've been followed to my car before. Now I fight back. And you know what? That could have led to a physical altercation. Luckily, it didn't. Maybe I haven't handled it as best as I can. But we are not getting paid enough money to have to deal with idiots like that are on the sidelines. So I'm actually for this. I agree with it. All I'm trying to say, Brian, is that if somebody is in the stands, whether it's high school or elementary school, and they say, oh, my God, that is a horrible call. You're horrible. I don't necessarily think that they should go to jail for something like that or fined. I think they deserve
No, it has to be very, very egregious.
Yeah, and I think they deserve a warning. And I think after a warning, just like you would do with a coach, if they continue, then I'm okay with the fine.
But at what point would that trickle over to the college level and the professional level? And then what are players part of that conversation as well?
And I want to make a quick point too, Brian. You asked the question, you posed it. What other industries, right, in America are you exposed to this type of abuse? Well, we're here in the hospitality.
Every call center.
We're here at the hospitality capital of the world, here in Las Vegas. There's a lot of people that work in the service industry, myself included, who would say that, there's bartenders, waiters, people, restaurant managers that are exposed to a ton of verbal abuse on a daily basis.
Listen, nobody's dying. That's my thing. Nobody's dying.
Well, yeah, but if any official is killed, by the way, the points you made, Brian, you pointed out officials getting killed or getting injured or maimed, that goes without saying, right? The law is going to step in there. Those parents or those people who are guilty of that are going to face the consequences, right? You have no protection given that it's an official or it's the average person on the street. So that goes without saying. That if there's these types of situations where
Brian, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think what Brian is trying to say is let's make sure it doesn't escalate to that point. And maybe if we put these types of laws in places, it will save lives. Brian, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes. Well put.
Now, Brian, in the situation you described where you're, the guy from Detroit that was actually hit so hard that he died, is there any insurance policy implemented? Is there anything that protects that referee right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely protection, but I mean, their family has gone through, years and years of litigation to make sure that he's been charged at the highest level, and it's unfortunate he wasn't charged at the highest level. Now he is doing prison time, but my point is there are no safeguards nationally. All these states have individual, type of laws that protect officials to a certain level, but none of them are very stringent. This is the first law from Wisconsin. I know there's another one out of Ohio that I've actually been working on with another group of people, but this is the first one that basically takes a current, I think it's Class A. Let me look at it. Yeah, it's Class A. No, it's a Class B misdemeanor. $1,000 fine if you use a referee. They're just saying we want to move it from a Class B to a Class A and make it more relevant, more prevalent. Saying we're no longer accepting this as good behavior or acceptable behavior.
It sets a precedent.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, by the way, we're speaking with Brian Barlow. He runs a website, stoprefabuse.com. We're talking about a new proposed Wisconsin bill that you can get hit with. You could go to jail or up to a $10,000 fine if you are harassing officials. And I think it is extremely interesting. I think that there has to be some sort of middle ground here. I'm for policing these parents, and I'm not just talking about throwing them out of a game or getting them out of a gym. To me, that is not enough. I'm on your side, Brian. I think that if first of all, if a parent, forget about even just regular harassment, if you threaten an official, it happens all the time. I believe that parent should go to jail. I believe that should be up to 30. If you're dumb enough to go with your kid to a game, how bad of a parent are you to harass an official to the point where you're following them to a parking lot? I feel bad for the kids more than anybody,
Very embarrassing.
Well, and at what point as a society have we deemed that it's okay? And most of these people that are getting harassed are teenagers. They're inexperienced officials. I have one example. A guy from Edmond, Oklahoma, who's 18 years old, who was told by a 38-year-old man, "I'm going to find you after the game and kill you." He was reffing a U14 girls soccer game. I got a guy in Lubbock, Texas, who was attacked by a coach because, and this kid's like 15 years old. He called a PK at the end of the game. The other team loses because of that decision. The coach attacks him and gives him a concussion. He spends days in the hospital because of it. These are kids.
Yeah.
It's astonishing to me the way that adults behave because of a game. It blows my mind that we say as a society it's okay to be that mad that we're going to go attack somebody or we're going to go tell somebody that we're going to kill them. I mean, come on.
It's all about living vicariously through the success of your child, obviously, because you don't have enough success in your own life. So I guess the big question for me is what separates heckling from harassment?
I think for me as a ref, I'm a seasoned ref. I'm trying to speak on behalf of refs that are new or inexperienced, don't have a ton of game time. Anything that creates an environment of cancer. And what I mean by that is at the point that the referee is no longer officiating the game, but instead becoming a therapist or a psychiatrist to a bunch of adults that are around the game, then we've lost the innocence of what youth sports is. Because that official isn't equipped to do anything but officiate based on his perception of the laws of the game or the rules that are handed to him for that specific sport.
Yeah.
Once he becomes a therapist, the game has been lost.
Okay,
Does
so
that make sense?
yeah, no, that
Yeah, it
completely makes sense. Brian, here's where I might pull back a little bit, and you might call me a cheeseburger for this, but I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm ready for this.
I'm an official
I'm very ready for
myself.
this.
I've been doing this for 20 years. I am totally with you, even at the high school level, the middle school level, you name it. However, I go to a lot of college sporting events. I go to a lot of NBA events. Now, don't get me wrong. Never should it be okay to swear at an official. Never should it be okay to threaten an official, to talk about his family. There is a line you should never cross. However, I think that if you're at a college basketball game and these officials are making thousands of dollars a game, NBA officials hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, I think if you say somebody sucks, you suck, that's an awful call, you shouldn't be on the floor. I don't have a problem with that at the college level or the NBA level. There's a lot of money being wagered on these games. Sometimes officials do. Most of them do a good job, but some of them, let's be honest with them, some of them should not be out there.
That's not what he's talking about, though.
I understand,
Right.
but I want to get his opinion on that because you might disagree with me on that, Brian. What do you think I'm wrong there?
I do. I do. And here's why. It's because I'm trying to change a culture. So think about it as a trickle-down effect. You watch, I take my 15-year-old boy to Oklahoma State basketball, all right?
Yeah.
We go to basketball games, and he sees me completely berate the official. Now what does he think it's okay to do whenever there's a call as a player that he doesn't like that official makes on him? He's seeing by my actions that it's okay to act that way. So for me, it's a trickle-down effect. Are we going to act like responsible, law-abiding, logical American people? Are we going to look like, in your words, buffoons? It's one or the other.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. Pick one.
I appreciate your passion and stuff, but I'm going to be devil's advocate. I'm going to be satanic advocate. I just don't see a parent that is, acting like that going to pay a fine, like $10,000. Is that, and jail time, like, then you're taking someone away from their kids and all this other stuff. Like what? And then I think you're like, this is a very slippery slope.
Hey, let me say this.
What you're talking about.
You are free and you have the right to say or act however you want in any environment you want to say or act. However, you are not free from the consequence of that action.
Right. And I feel you on that.
And so I look at it like you're kind of assuming the risk. For example, if you're a comedian and you go up on stage and you get heckled, you're kind of assuming the risk, and you're getting paid to do what you do. It's the same thing. And I'm not the level when those 6 to 10 years old or even 10 to 13 years old, but at that college or professional level, like Brian said, I think that you're kind of assuming the risk, and you're expecting those diehard fans to be screaming and yelling at you because that's what makes them fans. That's what makes them fanatics.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take Brian's side on this one. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I can't tell you that I haven't been one of these guys. Listen, Gallagher Iba Arena, college basketball, there's not a better venue outside of maybe Duke. Listen, I've yelled at the refs. I get it. But I'm older now. I'm seasoned. And all I'm saying is I'm a successful, logical person that operates his life with common sense. And I'm just asking for other people that aren't 21 years or younger to do the same. That's all I'm asking.
And you know what, Brian? Listen, I think that is completely fair. I think the way some of these idiots or cheeseburgers act in public is an embarrassment. They need to be held accountable for that. And I think there needs to be some middle ground here. But you are absolutely right. There are great people out there that are working with the youth out there in these youth leagues. It's not enough that we have to deal with coaches and people on the bench, but to have to deal with parents and people out there, it's inexcusable. I don't care how bad an official is. I don't care if he or she gets every single call wrong in a youth game. It is never an excuse to act like the way some of these parents act. Brian, before we let you go, I want you to plug your website. How do people get involved in this? How do people find you?
Hey, listen, so the main page, the Stop Ref Abuse, is just a subsidiary of the Offside page. The Offside page you can find on Facebook. And listen, we talk about every topic when it comes to youth sports. We share videos of how people behave badly. We actually pay $100 for people that have videos of people behaving badly at youth sporting events. If we post it on the page, we give you $100. So the Offside page on Facebook is the most key thing. And then there's a side page. It's called Offside Academy, for officials wanting to elevate their game, for sportsmanship aspects and how to be better sportsmanship. That's the secondary page of Offside. So yeah, go there. It's got a ton of content. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We try to keep the page updated all the time. So I really appreciate the opportunity for you guys to even have this discussion alive.
Absolutely.
I think it's an important discussion, and I think at some point us as a society can change a culture just by not acting so entitled and by having a little bit of common sense and being logical. That's all I'm saying to people.
Yep, Brian, thank you so much for your time. Up against a break, my friend. We appreciate you making your case and hope to have you on again sometime. Thank you very much.
Hey, don't be cheeseburgers out there.
Fair enough,
Thanks a lot,
Brian.
Brian.
Appreciate it. All right, another show in the books.
Yes.
Thanks to all our guests, Chris Kattan, Brian Barlow, Mariah Hillman, Deval Patrick, Sean Hannity coming up next, everybody. Have a great night.
Do you know that mortgage rates have plummeted to a 3-year low and are nearing historic lows? At the same time, home values have gone up roughly 50% in the last several years. However, they seem to be peaking now. Maybe it's time to put that equity to work by paying